We welcome you to Clyde-Perkins Stadium here on the campus of Grace Community School here in Tyler, Texas. Steve Anthony alongside Jack Wharton and our cameraman, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, Edwards. And excited to have you guys here tonight with us. We'll be streaming the game live here, obviously, on the Faith YouTube channel. If you want to listen to the audio-only portion, you can tune in on Mixlr. The Mixlr app is free, and the stream is free as well. And looking forward to tonight's game. We did have a chance to talk to both coaches, so we'll give you those interviews here momentarily. We're about 20 minutes away from kickoff, so we're glad that you're here. Give you an opportunity first to hear from Coach Tim Russell, head coach of the Grace Cougars.
Hey, everybody.
It's time for our visit with the head coach of the Lions' opponent this week. That's Grace Community Cougars head coach Tim Russell, who has his team off to a 5-0 start this season. Coach, really appreciate you being generous with your time and visiting with me this morning.
Oh, it's great to be with you. It's always such a great time visiting with you.
Well, as I mentioned, you guys entered Friday night's game undefeated. Not only that, you put up some impressive scores in your first 5 non-district wins with 255 points scored and only 87 allowed. What's your assessment of your team thus far heading into district play this week?
Well, we've really played well. We've had injuries here and there, and some guys have really stepped up, and a lot of things have gone our way. So far, hope they continue to go our way. The other team onside kicks, we catch it and take it back for a touchdown, and the ball's really bounced our way. We haven't turned it over very much, haven't had many penalties, and we've continued to get better each week, and we're excited about the way we're playing, and we've had a good week of practice so far. So it's really been a lot of fun. The kids really bought into what we're doing because this is my second year here, and our staff has worked together really well. It seems to be a good mesh so far.
Well, you've got some depth and a lot of returning starters back. Defense that has to be a real strength to your team and a contributing factor in your success so far this season.
Yeah, that having that experience, you just can't you can't put enough value on that because actually being in the fire. Sometimes say being in the fire. Some guys can practice. And they can do a great job in practice, but when the lights come on, and the shots are being fired, how will they play? And when you've had a chance to see somebody on the field and they've actually had to go through it, that's just invaluable. And we have changed some guys' positions from last year that did start for us, but now they're starting at different positions, and I think it strengthened our team a lot. And guys put their egos aside, and some guys have moved from offense to defensive line, and some guys move from quarterback to receiver and corner, just different things to make the team better. And everybody seems to have bought in and believe that has made us better. And in the long run, when you have great team chemistry and great experience, that's a good key to success and having a successful start to your season. Now, we'll see how that pays off going forward in the district.
Well, Grant Turner, running back, and quarterback J.T. Williams, I know have been drivers in your offense this year. And on the defensive side of the ball, big men Dylan Taylor and Seth Wilson are stalwarts for you. What do you have to say about their performances so far this year?
Well, J.T. actually hadn't played yet. J.T.'s been injured all season. And
okay.
Zach Davis has been playing quarterback for us. He's a sophomore, and he played a backup role last year. But JT is still with us. He had a nagging injury the whole season, so he hasn't been able to get on the field. But his presence every day at practice, and pushing the guys.
Gotcha.
Of course, Grant, he plays all over the field. He's irreplaceable, really intelligent player. Has a lot of varsity experience. Played running back and receiver, and he can do a wildcat quarterback stuff. He's really a special runner and can change directions, and not real tall, but he's extremely strong and fast, and just really has a lot of savvy about him. Of course, Seth and Dylan and Blake Harmon on defense coming back are really, like you say, stalwarts. That they really are. They love hitting, they love football, and they understand that the physical nature of the game, and it kind of makes the team better when your leaders, coming back, understand that, and they've really helped carry the team so far.
Well, Coach, for those that didn't hear our interview last year, tell us about your family, how you and Jan.
My wife's name is Jana, and I have two daughters, one Bailey and one Macy, and Macy is a senior at Harding University, and she's going to graduate, be a teacher and coach, teach math, and really special. She got married this summer to one of my previous coaches' middle sons, and so real proud of that. And then Bailey, my oldest daughter, she passed away in 2016. She was hit by a drunk driver and passed away. Her and her best friend were in the car together, and there was two girls in the back seat, and it was a real traumatic deal in East Texas. And we had a long trial and so forth. But that's something that will stay with us forever. And of course, you never know how you react in situations like that, and it's hard for people to imagine. I just say, well, look, just take your firstborn child, and they're not in your picture anymore. And so that really, I can't say that they didn't alter the way I coach, because I've always been passionate and kind of really enjoy coaching my players and building a strong personal relationship with them. But once I lost Bailey, it became even more personal, because you really understand how precious each and every kid is to their family. And so it really causes you to reflect on everything you do each and every day that you get to spend with our family's most precious commodity, their children.
Well, that really spoke to me last year in our visit, was that story about Bailey. And I think it's amazing that even after 7 years after a tragic loss, that her life and her testimony continues to touch people there in East Texas.
It really does. There's not a day goes by that I don't hear something, a text or something from somebody, because when we had her funeral, there was probably 3,000 something people there. It was a simulcast, and it was a big deal in the Upshur County and Gilmer area. And it was the pouring out of support that we had during that time was tremendous and very heartfelt. And I'll never forget that, as long as I live. And I know that Bailey was a special person. I learned so much from her. You'd like to think you teach your children, but you don't really know how much you learn from them until you reflect. And I learned so much from her. She is such a giving person, thinking about so many people. And I didn't know how many people's lives that she had really touched until after she passed. And so many people came by telling me stories. And when they had the open mic at the funeral, the people that stepping up and talking about her and just telling things. And it was you can't really describe the feeling that we had, and continue to have this day. I've spoken at different colleges and different teams, really because of her. And she was special, and she continues, like you said, to be special, because she is away from us now physically, but she'll never be away from us.
Absolutely. Well, that definitely puts things in perspective, I know. So, well, Friday night should be a good one. No doubt you and your staff have been scouting the Faith Lions and the likes of Clayton Sebecki and Ben Wagner. What do you guys need to do in order to try to stop them, or at least minimize their impact on the outcome of the game?
Oh boy, those two guys are incredible. Of course, they get, their offensive defensive line doesn't get enough credit, but those guys really get after it, and they understand their roles and their jobs, and they really do a really good job. And Sebecki is he's a force, just throwing the ball, running the offense, and running in general. He's hard to stop, and you don't know who's going to be back there with him in the backfield, running back wise, but he's going to be back there, and he's been hard for anybody to stop, And then Matt Rotella, I'm sorry, Ben Wagner, he's been like that guy. He's jumping. I mean, he's just a tremendous athlete. You see him move down the field, you just think athleticism. He's one of those guys you can just watch run like a deer. He's just like a gazelle, very, very smooth runner, and just an incredible athlete. And we have our hands full, I guarantee you, with the whole team. Those are the main two cogs in the offense, no doubt. But the defense, offense and defense coached extremely well. They know what they're doing. They get to their spots, and it's going to be a challenge. I look forward to the game. I really do. I know it's going to be a tremendous challenge, but I know that God will be honored and glorified by this matchup, because it's going to be a matchup of two really good teams. And of course, I hope we win, but I'm just glad to be on the field with them and knowing that seeing those two guys on film will probably be a lot better seeing them on film than we'll be in real life. But we'll get a chance to see them on Friday.
Well, Coach, you're so gracious with your time. Just a real gentleman. I really appreciate your time to visit with me. Good luck the rest of the season.
Well, thank you. And if I can ever do anything for you outside of sports or with other teams or whatever you need, just let me know.
Thank you so much. Well, that's Grace Community Head Coach Tim Russell. Your Faith Lions are on the road down I-20 in Tyler to take on the Cougars. That's coming up shortly right here on the Grapevine Faith Sports Network.
After the bye week, we're back at it again here on the Grapevine Faith Sports Network with the Bobby Hollis Show. And so, Coach, as always, really appreciate the time.
Sure.
Well, last time we spoke, we were preparing for a big rivalry game against Fort Worth Christian, obviously. The Lions ended up on the short end of a real heartbreaker, 55-52. And that was a tough one for sure. You know, you took the lead with about 1:20 left the game. What was your message to the team coming out of that loss going into the bye week?
I told them after the game that I was really proud of their effort. We talked about the day before the game in the pregame is always being willing to go back into the fight no matter what happens. And our kids did that. And I'm really proud of them. We just came up short. And so I told them that's my fault. The mistakes that we made were probably because I made a bad call or I called something that maybe we hadn't practiced enough. And I told them that that's on me, and I didn't have them ready for that, and we will next time.
Well, even though it was a non-district game, and that game really meant something, obviously to both teams, but you really meant something. A lot of kids were, obviously pretty upset after the game, so that I'm sure that at least you knew that they were definitely, they cared, obviously.
No doubt.
I will say I've watched a fair number of games in my 100 years on this earth, Coach, and I can confidently say that was one of the gutsiest performances I've ever seen by Clayton Sebecki. He was targeted all night. There were some late hits. There were some cheap shots, I thought. There were some late hits out of bounds. Unfortunately, he wasn't the only one. I know Nathan Triggerstead had a couple as well. But, looking at the performance of Clayton, what can you say about the game he had that night?
He's probably the most competitive kid I've ever coached, and he really wanted to win that game. And he had made up his mind that he was going to do whatever it took to win that football game. And he took a lot of punishment. It took a lot of guts to keep on making play after play after play. And I'm just really proud of his performance. I just wish that I'd been able to help our defense finish the game and reward him for his big comeback effort and the way that he led the offense. So you said it best. Guts is the best way to describe that performance. I'm really proud of him. He had a great game.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, I know when you score 52 points on a team, you expect to win that game, and they seem to kind of throw a lot of different looks at you guys. What were some of the challenges you felt maybe were the biggest you guys were trying to overcome throughout the night?
Well, they did line up in formations that we hadn't seen yet, so hats off to them for coming up with a plan. Defensively, we're going to practice the formations that they've showed previously, because in a limited amount of time, you can't show your kids every formation that they might run.
Right.
Otherwise, you end up wasting a lot of time. So it took us, we had to adjust to some of those new formations, get on the sideline and figure out what we were going to do. Kids came up with a solution. So it was kind of like they'd line up in a new formation. They'd have some success in it. We'd adjust to it and stop it, and then they'd move on to something new. But I think the biggest thing that they did coming into the game that hurt us was their up-tempo offense. They caught us not quite ready for the snap, and we've made some changes to get our defense able to line up faster and communicate faster. And so they kind of exposed a weakness, and since then we've been able to address it. And I think learning from that, we've gotten better as a team, but they hurt us with that. And so hats off to them. Fort Worth Christian has really good coaches. Their kids executed well. They played well.
Well, I know a lot of teams talk about not wanting to peak too early. You want to peak at about the right time, and you don't want to do that too early, obviously. But you've got district play starting up this week. Really, the season starts this week if you think about it. So, how would you rate your team on both sides of the ball and special teams going into district play?
Well, I feel like the first half of the season is about improvement. You've got to be You want to win all the games that you can, but you also want to make sure you're at your best when district play begins. And so I told the kids everybody's record in Texas is 0-0. Basically you wipe the slate clean and let's see what we can do. I feel like special teams has been strong for us. Our offense has been really strong for us. Defense has been lagging behind a little bit, but I feel like we've figured out which guys do certain skills well, and we're trying to limit them to just play within those skills and not try to ask them to do things that they're not excellent at. And I think it's taking us a little bit of time to figure that out. It's taking us a little bit of time to figure out what coverages we want to run instead of having multiple coverages to each formation. Maybe we want to pare it down and get really good at just a couple things. And I think that we're moving in that direction, and the players are feeling more confident. But I think defense maybe has been lagging behind the other two phases of the game.
I know you can't control the schedule. I mean, it's you're given the bye week when you're given the bye week. But I'm just curious if playing every Friday night, there's kind of a momentum that builds and so forth. The bye week does allow some players that have been injured to heal, so there's benefits to it. Do you attack this week differently coming out of a bye week? Is your game plan different? Has it been different for the last couple of weeks, not having played last Friday night?
Well, we got to spend a lot of time in the bye week to kind of self-assess. I went back through all of our plays we've seen on defense, try to figure out where the breakdowns were and try to find some commonalities. And it gave me a good game plan going into this week of not just getting ready for Grace Community, but knowing what areas of our team need to be improved. So it was a good time to evaluate ourselves, get back to focusing on fundamentals, get guys healthy, make sure we address the culture of the team. So last Monday night, we went to the Irwin's house and watched Monday Night Football and hung out and had pizza and wings. So big thanks to their family for that. It was a great social time for our kids. Our upperclassmen spent the week on retreat. And so I hope that gave them kind of a refresher, maybe get away from football, come back with more energy, which I think they have.
Yeah.
Some guys came back sick from the retreat, so that's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. Yeah. We're going to find a way to get it done.
Well, we're going to turn the page to non-district play, at least for a week anyway, this week against Grace Community. Coach Tim Russell and his team, they started the season 5-0 with their non-district play, so they've proven that they can score, and you know that from scouting over the last couple of weeks. What do you expect to see from the Cougars this week?
Well, we blew them out last year, but they're a really good team this year. They're 5-0. They've clearly figured out what they want to do, and I think Coach Russell is in the second year of his tenure there, and it really has that place rolling. They've got their offense will line up in multiple formations, and they're looking for ways to outnumber you and out-leverage you, either by lining up in a new formation or by pulling guys. And so, if the offense sends two pullers from the right side to the left side, then we need to send defenders from our right side to our left side. Otherwise, we get outnumbered. And so they find creative ways of outnumbering you, either by pulling or by sending guys in motion or by lining up in different formations. And they use bootlegs. They use play action. They do a good job of throwing to open receivers by creating opportunities to get guys open. So, I've got a lot of respect for what they're doing over there. They're a really good football team.
Well, the road to the playoffs start this week, and next week we're talking about a 1-0 in district play Faith Lions team. Again, Coach, really appreciate the time.
You bet.
That's Coach Bobby Holland here on the Bobby Holland Show. Your Lions travel down I-20 to Tyler to take on the Grace Community Cougars. That's coming up shortly here on the Grapevine Faith Sports Network. Well, we are live here at Clyde-Perkins Stadium on the campus of Grace Community School here in Tyler, Texas. Steve Anthony alongside Jack Wharton and our cameraman Mark Edwards. And we've got a little treat tonight. We got a mic on Mark. He cannot hear us, but we will be able to hear him.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, we're going to be reaching out to Mark Edwards to say hey to him, and we're going to check and make sure, see if he's got his ears on. Mark, can you hear us?
Hey, how y'all doing?
We got you.
Everybody good?
Everybody's good. Yep.
All right.
So that's Mark.
Oh, yeah, we got to turn him off quickly.
He is turned off now.
Yeah,
so
okay, thank you.
Well, the captains are out at the at midfield for the Lions. It's Nathan Trigestead, Ben Wagner, Max Martin, and Clayton Sebecki.
Well, it's interesting, Steve. It's a 2-hour drive versus a 15-minute drive from our school over to Fort Worth Christian. Less fans here than we had last 2 weeks ago. I would also like to tell the fans, thank you for listening 2 weeks ago. I apologize for my under-the-weather voice. I spent 2 weeks in a tuberculosis clinic out in New Mexico. I was in an iron lung for 2 weeks, and I'm back to being healthy again. So I'm glad to be back, Steve. Thanks for having me again. All right, folks.
Folks, there's only one Jack Wharton, and I mean that. Thank the good Lord.
I was high in the mountains. I got the iron lung. I looked at the sky for about 24 hours a day, and it was good. All good.
Well, we're ready for some high school football after a bye week. As Jack mentioned, heartbreaking loss 2 weeks ago at Fort Worth Christian, 55-52. The Lions scored with about a minute 20 left, and then couldn't hold them, and with about 8 seconds left, the Cardinals scored. But I told Clayton this in the pregame, Jack. One of the gutsiest performances I think I've ever seen from a football player in a high school game.
Yeah.
I mean, just really incredible.
Yeah, I spoke to his father at one point, and there were so many cheap shots in that game.
Oh my gosh!
Last week, and
I
hate to throw those people, but it's not really like it's point to one, or it's just like kind of I fell down on the pile, but all my weight went on top of you, or a helmet to the side when you really needed to be hitting a pie, and it was a little chippy, I would say, and I mentioned to him that maybe the coach should be mentioning hey, I get it, we're playing football here, and this is a man's game, but at the same time, we don't need to be taking a bunch of cheap shots on a D1 signee and that kind of thing.
There were late hits out of bounds, late hits inbounds. Anyway, all right, we turn the page on that. We're ready to kick off here.
Turn the page.
The Cougars kicking off here to the Lions. Clayton Sebecki and Ben Wagner back. There's a line drive shot right through the middle. That's going to go through the end zone for a touchback, and the Lions will start 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Really thankful for the beautiful accommodations here at Grace Community. We're in the visitors' press box, and man, they have taken care of us. It's a beautiful press box. They did not have stands on the visitor side until this year, so this summer they put in the stands here and this press box, and we're super appreciative. Coach Will Musig next to us. We'll hear from him tonight. I did have a chance to visit with him briefly this week and talk about the offense and how they've been able to score. And despite the 2-3 start, some positives to come out of that. Clayton Sebecki with an empty backfield. 3 receivers here on the near side to start this series. First of the game. Cleated by Sebecki. Breaks through several tackles and gets forward out over the 35-yard line, and that's going to be enough for a first down. So first play from scrimmage, and Clayton Sebecki with about an 11-yard run.
Nice run there. Got trips on this side. Ben stepped off like we're going to throw a little quick screen, and then Sebecki just took it right up the middle.
Well, their traditional setup is 2 receivers on each side. I like this change-up here, Jack. Give them a little different look. There's a snap back to Sebecki. Here's the pass to Wagner on this near side. Breaks through a few tackles, still on his feet. Finally taken down, but another 11-yard gain for the Lions offense.
Nice catch and throw there.
Boy, I tell you what, Jack, they've shown all season pretty much that traditional setup with a single running back in the backfield with Sebecki and 2 receivers on each side. They've got a Tristan Dare lined up as a tight end. Now they go 2 receivers on each side. But I like them changing this look up. I really do. Tristan did a great job of lead blocking for Clayton last week. Here comes Ben Wagner on a sweep. And the Cougars don't fall for it and have good coverage there, so they take Sebecki down. No gain on the play. One guy to watch on the Cougars is number 19, senior Dylan Taylor. Big kid, and he's one of their leaders in that locker room, and one of the defensive leaders on tackles, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with tonight.
Steve, tonight I've also figured out how to tap into YouTube, so I'm looking at our YouTube feed and I can see some people watching. We got about 30 people watching on YouTube right now. Tell your friends and neighbors if you don't mind. Just shout it out from the front door.
Set back to Sebecki. He keeps it, trying to escape, trying to get out of the hands of some tacklers, but they take him for a big loss.
Wow, just didn't have anything there, Steve. They sniffed that thing out.
Well, they read that, so after two very, very successful plays from scrimmage, the first two plays from the line of scrimmage, the Lions had two back-to-back 11-yard plays, and now it's 3rd and long at their own 41-yard line. Game just underway, no score. Lions receive the opening kickoff.
Big 3rd down here, Steve.
Yep. Here's Sebecki looking to pass. Right across the middle. Wide open. Nathan Trigestad.
Oh.
And he is out close to a first down. He is right at the marker. Let's see where they get it. Yep, they're moving the markers. First down. Great pass by Clayton Sebecki to number 4, Nathan Trigestad, right in the middle of the field.
Yeah, it looked like he kind of fell about a yard short. I hate to be that guy for our team, Steve. I'm the home guy, but it looked like about a yard short, but that was a nice catch and throw there. I wished he had kind of fallen forward. That would have been better.
Well, we still got the first down, Jack. What am I missing?
I don't know. I'm complaining about the refs, and they're supporting us already.
Right. I'll teach them a thing or two.
Yes, sir.
All right, so 1st and 10 for the Lions at the Cougars' 42-yard line. Pass to the near side to Ben Wagner, looking to pick up a couple of blocks, sidesteps one tackler, and trudges forward for a gain of about 4 on the play, so a nice little 4-yard gain.
Yeah, again, we've talked about this before. When we see that kind of similar play back, and we're hoping we're setting something up for later on. You saw that first formation, the run down the middle. You saw it screen to Wagner for about a 10-yard gain the last time. This is about a 6-yard gain. So let's see where they're going to – it'll be a different play out of that same formation later on.
Yeah. There's Sebecki again in the backfield alone, looking to pick up a block. He does. Gets a few yards on the play. We'll get called a gain of about 1, actually, not few. Tristan Dare picked up one of the linebackers on the outside. Clayton cut it back on the inside. The other linebacker came over from the middle to
Always talking about this every week, too, Steve. Want to get in that 3rd and short. This is 4 yards. It's pretty gettable 4 yards. I think even you're in a 4-down territory.
I would think so, yeah. Third down, and we'll call it 4. Ball at the 35-yard line. Again, opening drive for the Lions. No score here. Just underway. 8 minutes left here in the first quarter. 2 receivers split on each side with Sebecki by himself in the backfield. Pass here to the near side to Nathan Trigestad. Picking up some blocks from Ben Wagner. He's going to have the first down. Good block in there on the outside by Ben Wagner.
Nice 4-yard gain there. Trigestad's one of those kids we haven't seen a whole lot of as far as focus around the offensive side of the ball. Last week he had a good catch and had a big drop, but this looks like they're going to focus on Nathan in this series. So,
give you a text or a cell number here in a second to text us. You can also chat in the YouTube chat. First down for Sebecki on a keeper, cuts it up the middle. Not much room there. Gets maybe a yard. It's stacked up. So if you want to text us and let us know, 817-980-7994, 817-980-7994. You can always also chat on the live chat on our YouTube stream. We do have that active.
Oh, there you go. We got Braden Beach listening, and then also S. Frank. I don't know who missed. Oh, that could be Mrs.
That could be Mrs. Frank. Yeah, I know that because Jensen said she listens to all the games.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah.
Hello, Mrs. Frank.
Hello. All right, 2nd down and 9 for the Lions. Sebecki looking to pass. Chased out of the pocket. Pass downfield. Wide open. He's got Ben Wagner. Couldn't bring it in. Just out of his reach.
Yeah, it was just out of the reach. Had been perfect. Four passes in a row there. Complete.
Well, after these first few plays, Jack, you felt like there was just something that was going to break wide open for the Lions, and that felt like maybe that might have been it. Ben was definitely had a few yards on the defender.
Again, you're 3rd and 9 in this. We talked about getting 3rd and short. I still think this is 4-down territory. Offensively, you're going to have to call something that picks 4 or 5 yards up to go for it on 4th down. And plus, you still have Holroyd that has had a pretty good season. We have not seen many field goals out of him this year.
They're blitzing. They pick it up. There's a pass looking for Ben Wagner deep.
That has to be pass interference.
There's no flag on the play.
Wow.
So
I don't know if they maybe thought that was not catchable. It was kind of on the out of bounds line, but I still think when you start pushing a guy, that doesn't even give him the opportunity to try to get it.
If you watched the JV game last night, there was a lot of those fade routes that Austin was throwing, and it just is such a low percentage play. Austin had an amazing game throwing across the middle and the in routes and slants.
Interesting you say a low percentage play, Steve. I'll have some stats later on for that, okay?
Like that onside kick that you love so much.
Oh, it's 23%, by the way.
4th down and 9 here has been Wagner in motion. Well, they fake the flanker screen. Across the middle, he's got wide open. He's got Noah Smith, touchdown. Grapevine Faith. No flags on the play.
What a great catch by Noah. He was wide open. There was no safety back there. And that was an easy pass and throw. Well, I should say that, but it looked like Noah had a stretch just a touch. And let's just say he's vertically challenged.
That's one of those plays, Jack, that when you look up and realize that the receiver's so wide open, if you're not careful, you will overthrow that by 5 or 10 yards. But Clayton dialed it back a little bit and hit Noah in stride. Here's Josh Holroyd with the extra point, and it is good. So on their first series, the first series of the game that the Lions took the opening kickoff, back 75 yards for a score. So that's good to see them very efficiently and very effectively moving the football. So let's go to Mark. Mark,
what did you see out there?
Mark, what are you seeing out there?
Well, I'll tell you what. There's a couple of times key plays. We got 3rd down, 4th downs. We're able to convert. I mean, that's what it's going to take, right?
Absolutely, folks. You can tune into other football games if you want to, but you're not going to get that kind of hard-hitting analysis anywhere else.
Number 1 ranked team broadcasting in TATS, and that's voted on by just our family.
That's right.
Actually, Tanya Edwards voted for a team out of the South Texas region. So
she did. She did.
Oh yes, Mark. Thank you.
Yes,
for
Mark points out we are
what
facing.
They say, red skies at night, a sailor's delight. Mark.
Facing west here at this beautiful campus. It is their homecoming for
I'm
Grace
starting
community.
to feel like Kansas, actually, Mark. It seems like every team's scheduling homecoming when we show up.
It is, it's a beautiful stadium here, beautiful campus. A lot of tailgating and homecoming activities. Their class of 2003 and 2013 are back for homecoming. Good-sized crowd. The faithful are starting to... Few of them are trickling in. I think just that they could have been stuck in traffic. I tell you, getting out of Dallas with the Cotton Bowl, Texas OU weekend, the State Fair of Texas going to kick off by Holroyd. That's going to go out of bounds, so the Cougars will take over from their own 30. But trying to get out of Dallas today was we left Grapevine at about 2:30, and it was still a mess. So I'm sure there's still hopefully some more Grapevine faithful on their way.
Hey, let me tell you something real quick about that offensive series that I liked a lot. I mean, not only did we drive 75 yards in 5 minutes and 6 seconds, but 3 different receivers on that series. And Sobecki was 5 for 7, which I think is a little bit higher percentage than we've probably seen out of him before. But, I'm optimistic already. I know there's only 1 drive in, but
well, the Cougars
I hate to get excited.
Here are the Cougars. Zach Davis, the sophomore quarterback. J.T. Williams here. If you heard my pregame interview with Coach Tim, I messed up the quarterback. There's a completed pass, number 10. He's still on his feet. He's trying to break away. Finally taken down. Tackle made by Colin Abercrombie, but a big gain on the first play from scrimmage by J.T. Williams.
39-yard gain right there.
Now, I'm going to have to guess. J.T. Williams was their quarterback, but he is injured. No, he's in as a wide receiver. That is so strange. Coach said he was had not played, so maybe they've got him in.
It's called coaching
as a wide receiver
and game management.
Man, just throwing your opponent off. So, well, 1st and 10, big gain there for the Cougars. Almost a messed up snap there as the wide receiver came in motion.
Whoa!
He falls forward for about a gain of about 7. So we call it a gain of 6. But man, the Cougars are right off the bat, Jack. They're hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah, I think our squad is still thinking about that Chipotle they had before they got here tonight.
All right, 2nd down. Look at the pass, complete.
Oh, wow. What
Big
a
hit.
pass and throw
Yep.
there.
Hit immediately by Nathan Triggerstead, but not until he reels it in. Good pass there by Zach Davis. So the Cougars move the chains again. 5-0 coming into this first district game for both teams, the Cougars are. There's an inside handoff right up the middle. Barely gets touched, cuts to the outside, finally knocked down. Track tackle by Ben Wagner. But that is another big gain and another first down for the Cougars. So we may have another offensive shootout again tonight like we did 2 weeks ago, Jack.
This guy at 34 looks like he's just got a head of steam by the time he gets to the line of scrimmage. He is just barreling through there, and he's picking up a lot of good yardage so far. 6-yard run and a 15-yard run.
That is Grant Turner, the senior. There's J.T. Williams back in the backfield now. There's a handoff to Williams. And he's tackled, hit right at the line of scrimmage, falls forward for a gain of maybe 1, we'll call it.
If I was community, I might just keep handing it at 34 with a full head of steam. He looks like Larry Zonka out there.
He's a big kid.
Yeah.
All right, second down, and we'll call it second down and 8. They can actually get a first down without scoring. They get to about the 1 yard, just inside the 1 yard line. So it's not second and goal, second and 8. Inside handoff to 34. He's going to go in for the touchdown.
Why not? Why not?
Man. Steady dose of 34 on that drive by the Cougars, Jack.
Woo! That only took a minute 9 off the clock there.
Well, you have the first big pass play. Here's kind of a swinging gate formation. We'll see. The Lions have struggled with this in the past. We'll see what they decide to do. They are going to kick the 1, or attempt it. Blake Harmon out to kick. Kick is up, and it is good. So we have a tie game here. 4 minutes, 45 seconds left here in the first quarter. So both teams score on their first possession from scrimmage. Lions took the opening kickoff back 75 yards, and the Cougars take their first series back 70 yards for score.
I'll take that back. It was 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Sorry, Steve.
Okay.
I gave the wrong stat there. Hopefully nobody's writing this down at home.
We did have a chance to speak to Clayton Zabecki this week and just ask him about what his thoughts were coming into district play.
I think it's really just not to get our heads down. I mean, I know we're 2-3, but played some really good competition. I think every player on the team knows that's really going to get us ready for district. And just come in hot, and Tyler Grace is probably the team to beat in our district. So if we start out hot, we should just keep that ship sailing, and we should be pretty good going through the rest of the district.
And so Clayton there just letting us know that he's not overly concerned about their record. Kind of starting a new season here with district play starting. And really, we talked about that. The season really does kind of start now from I guess, games that matter, if you will.
Yeah.
Not that the non-district games don't matter. They help you get ready for district play, but they don't factor into the district standings, obviously.
No. I mean, this is where the playoffs start. This is where you really start to try to get your offense, your defense put together, where you see some weaknesses, figure out how you can plug those holes up. And, but, the record means more in the district. And now, not saying that we don't want to be undefeated going into district.
Right.
We just got to turn the page.
Well, if we're going to win games, we want to win district games. Here's Blake Harmon to kick off. Kind of a short kick. It's going to hit at about the 22. Ben Wagner picks it up at the 20, cuts it back here to the near side, back to the middle of the field, looking to find a hole.
Ooh. And
he's taken down out over the 35-yard line. Kind of an awkward tackle and fall there, but I think it was just kind of a...
Boy, it picked up 2 yards just falling forward. I don't know if I would have marked him there. See, I'm criticizing the refs, and they're supporting us, and I don't even know why. It's just my nature.
Ben with his hand on his hips there. He kind of came up favoring that right knee, kind of gave it a couple of little bends to stretch it out, so hopefully he's okay.
Okay, another new formation we're showing here. We got 2 on each side, and then you got 1 in the backfield. Interesting.
Yeah, that's Walker Little in the backfield as a running back.
He's been hurt, hasn't he not?
No, he's been good at handoff to Walker. Hit immediately. There's that Dylan Taylor that we talked about, the big senior.
That's a 2-yard
loss. That is a loss on the play.
1 yard loss
of 1.
Wow. He was back there cooking on the stove before he could even get the ball there, Steve.
Walker Little, the freshman.
He's going to be a good ball player.
Man, no question. So second down and 11 after that loss of 1 on that run there, Clock running, 4 minutes left here in the first quarter. Game tied at 7.
You know, I'd almost like to see these guys start out in the same formation, then move to this position, kind of throwing the defense off just a touch more than what they've been doing.
This is kind of that traditional formation we talked about. The Cougars looking to bring some flag blown. Whistle blown, excuse me. So I don't see a flag on the play. Oh, delay game against the Lions.
Dear Lord.
I wasn't even looking at the play clock.
I mean, I don't even know if it went 25 seconds.
Tristan Dare back into the game. Brings Walker Little out, so we might see a little bit of a different formation. Trevor typically lines up as that tight end. So now with 2nd and 16, the Lions going to give it a little different look.
Probably going to need to pick up 7 or 8 on this play, Steve.
Yep, you'll want to leave a long 3rd down here. Right across the middle. Almost, it is intercepted. Tipped up and intercepted. Brings it to the near side, and he's pushed out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. That was Lawson Livingston, the junior, for the Cougars. Kind of reading the eyes of the quarterback there, Jack, and he looked at Clayton and then tipped the ball up, just kind of with a high throw, tipped it, and he was able to get underneath it. It was a really athletic play, I thought, by him.
Well, it almost looked like he kind of goaded Sobecki into making that throw.
Yep.
It was almost like he was kind of hiding. I mean, there was no safety behind, I think that was Triggerstead. There was no safety behind Triggerstead. It's almost like he slid in there thinking that, kind of showing them that we didn't have they didn't have a safety back there, but that guy was kind of playing that short safety, if you want to call it that way. That was a short drive there, Steve.
It was. Cougars with great field position at the Lions' 30-yard line. There's Zach looking to pass. He's got a man open. Just out of the hands, just out of the reach. Cannon Hunter in pursuit there, just out of the reach for Aiden Hesh, senior. Zach Davis, a pretty good-sized kid. I'm trying to get some numbers on him. I don't see him on the online roster to get his stats, but he's a big quarterback. Tall, looks like he's maybe 6'2", 6'3", about 200 pounds. There's a handoff to 34. Starts to cut outside, cuts back to the middle, but the Lions sniffed that out very nicely.
Yep, started out with good contain, and then we kind of cut back to the outside where they had the contain again, so no gain there. Well, I'll give him a yard.
Several Lions, including Jake Ford, in on the tackle on that. Trevor Williams as well. So it's to bring up a key 3rd down play here. You think this is probably 4-down territory for them as well, Jack?
Well, I don't know anything about their kicking game, but still, you're looking at a 47-yard field goal from right here.
There's a quarterback keeper by Zach Davis. He spills forward out close to a 1st down at about the 22-yard line.
So short there, Steve.
Yeah, I was watching their kicker in pregame, and I would be shocked. From about 40 yards out, he was maybe barely enough leg.
Okay.
And missed a couple times that I saw him. So I have a feeling that they're going to have to be.
I'm going to tell you right now what they're going to do, Steve. They're going to run it right up the gut with 42 in the lead or in the back. That kid's a big kid.
Now they've got 34.
He's in the slot position.
Yeah, Grant Turner over there, and there's 42. He's up the middle, and he's hit, but he does have enough for the 1st down. So good defense by the Lions, but not enough to keep the Cougars at bay. So 1st down, and the markers will move. 1st down and 10 right at the 19-yard line.
Yeah, I think if you're going to need to try to pick up 1 or 2 yards of your Grace community, you're going to probably give it to 42.
This first quarter is flying by, just outside of 2 minutes. Clock running, just over 2 minutes left here in the first quarter. We are tied at 7. Lions took the opening kickoff back, the opening drive after the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Cougars answered, and they just intercepted trying to score here. Here's number 42, big number 42. He's running over a couple of Lions, still on his feet, and gets inside the 5-yard line. So a big gain there of about 13 yards. That's going to be 1st and goal for the Cougars.
Yeah, he got caught up at about 5 yards back, and he just pushed the the Grapevine Faith squad further downfield.
Well, impressive showing by the Cougars offense here so far, Jack.
Yeah, impressive running game they have, too. I'm really impressed with that.
There's Jake Ford in there on a nice tackle.
Yep.
Came around the left side and got back in the backfield after that handoff to Blake Harmon. And no gain on the play.
I think they're going to run 42 too. He's got no more gas.
We've got 42 and 34.
Yeah, 42 just came in. So.
Blake Harmon is 42. Number 34 is Grant Turner.
42, he just ran 3 consecutive plays. Look for the 4th one right here.
Right.
Gained 5 more yards.
Clock running. Just over a minute left here in the first quarter. Play action.
Wide open.
Wide open, Zach. Oh, hit immediately. Great play there.
Clayton Sobecki out
there.
Yeah,
Sobecki came in. He was playing a cornerback position. He peeled off after the throw and hit the receiver immediately. So we got a big 3rd down and goal here. Big play there by Clayton Sobecki.
Really don't want your starting quarterback out there on defense, but
Not
I guess
really.
we don't have much option.
Not really. All right. 3rd down and 2. Inside of 1 minute here in the first quarter. We are tied at 7. Cougars trying to convert after an interception around midfield.
I think they're going to go for this on 4th down anyway, Steve.
Probably.
I know they can.
Oh, there's Turner in the end zone. Don't need to. Just Turner in the end zone, almost practically untouched. And the Lions are going to have to find an answer for that here pretty quick, Jack.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of a running game from these other opponents we've had, so this was a pretty good running game they have here at Grace Community. I wonder if I hadn't seen much film on Grace Community, Steve. I just wonder if they have been using the running game to their advantage all year, or this is just new for them.
Yeah, I searched. They do not have stats posted on Max Preps or anywhere online that I could find, so you really don't have a whole lot. That's why I thought J.T. Williams was still the starting quarterback, and Coach had to correct me in my pregame interview. Here's Blake Harmon, big number 42 we were talking about earlier. His kick is up and is through.
Well, that drive took a lot longer than I thought it was going to, starting at the 30 of Faith, but it took 3 minutes and 11 seconds, gained 30 yards. Kind of showed their running power is what that drive showed for me, Steve. Even I'll try to get some stats up to the end of the first quarter, but their runs have been pretty substantial. Not much passing.
They've thrown the ball, maybe 2, maybe 3 times. That first series they had that big pass play.
Four passes for 49 yards.
Well, the Lions are going to have to come back and answer for that, and hopefully the offense. We saw a different formation. We talked to Coach Busick this week and got his thoughts about the offense and the ability to score.
Oh, absolutely. It's really just coming down to doing what we do. We had a good bye week last week, and we really just emphasized the little things, getting the little things right as you head into district. Simple blocks, simple catches, getting yards, which is what we've been doing, putting points on the board. That's been the primary focus, and maintaining that into district play.
So as you heard Coach say, the season really starts here in district play, and the fact that they've been able to put points on the board. Again, we talked with Coach Holland. Yes, folks, I do recognize we got an upside-down Bobby Holland show again. I do not know what's going on, so I got to figure that out.
I know what's going on, Steve.
As he said, we're supporting our audience down in Australia.
It's the
that watches the game
upside-down
upside.
Bobby Holland Show, the upside-down Bobby Holland Show.
That's our new jingle. Jack Wharton on all of our creative this year. So the Cougars...
just trying to throw off the opponent with the upside-down show, so...
Cougars scored in their opening drive after the Lions scored, and then they just intercept and convert on that to make it 14-7. 30 seconds left here in the first quarter. Kind of a pooch kick.
Pooch kick. Pick it up.
Following Nathan Trickerstead falls on about the 31, so not bad field position for the offense.
Yeah, we'll start out at 31. That's a little better than any other starting position we've had so far.
Matthew Rotella Kirschbaum in the game now. Triggerstad's going to take a breather. He's
I've already gotten one comment back from somebody. It doesn't really count, but they say Mark Edwards is hilarious.
Mark Edwards is hilarious.
Yeah.
Well,
that came from April Wharton, so it doesn't really matter.
We can't tell them that, folks. Please do not feed the animals. Please do not feed the animals. Here's Sobecki on a keeper, cuts it back to the middle, and the Cougars had that sniffed out very well again, man. There's Harmon. We talked about Blake Harmon, number 42, that was running the ball. He's a big linebacker on the defensive side of things and stepping up there big. So 2nd down and 10, no gain on the play. I want to give a shout out to John Brooks, who is watching and listening. Thank you, John. That's going to be the end of the first quarter.
Coach Brooks, one of the leaders of the broadcast of this squad.
And his wife, Kathy. I can't leave her out.
Yeah,
beautiful wife, Kathy.
She did all the heavy lifting.
No doubt.
John just kind of showed up.
Coach Tyler Burke sends a picture, says, what a view. He's when we had the sunset earlier.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
So
that was just Mark Edwards trying to get on the air, though. So
Well, speaking of Mark Edwards, we're gonna bring Mark. Just leave your mic on. You just leave it on. So Mark, we're gonna make some adjustments. We got to figure something out. What do you think?
I'll tell you what. I mean, we've had some success in the middle, but we're trying to establish a running game. It looks like, and so far, he's not been able to break that tackle at the line.
Yeah, I agree with Mark. I think we're trying to establish a running game with Sobecki, but it doesn't seem to be. It seems like they're almost keying on Sobecki for the run. So,
well, they're going to have to figure something out here.
We're trying to work on Mark's mic, so just hold tight, fans of Mark Edwards.
So we switch into the field. The line's now going from our right to our left, going from the north end zone to the south end zone. We are facing due west here. Really pretty facility here at Grace Community. All right, 2nd down and 10. Lions need to figure something out here on this series, Jack.
I agree.
Walker Little in the backfield. Inside, nope, it's a keeper by Sobecki. Cuts it here to the near side. Gets out in the open, and he is taken down. Boy, a touchdown-saving tackle there by Lawson Livingston, but not until Clayton Sobecki gains about 20 on that play.
Yeah, nice run by Sobecki right there. You know, that may be where he's going to find more successes on the outside. Steve, let his speed take him rather than the inside. Obviously, we haven't seen much of that success so far up the middle for Sobecki.
No. False start there on the near side. I want to give a shout out to Audrey and Brandon Norman. They are listening during the halftime of Grady Norman's game. Johns Hopkins is beating Gettysburg at halftime 42-7.
I can't tell you how much I hate Gettysburg.
I'll just say go Johns Hopkins. I don't care who they're playing.
Yeah.
My two favorite college teams, Johns Hopkins and
Gettysburg is
whoever they're playing.
They got a good nickname, like a rifleman or something like that.
The Gettysburg does?
Yeah, I can't remember what it is. It's been a while. I knew a kid that played lacrosse up there one time, so.
Well, Lions backed up. It's going to be 1st down and about 15. Pass wide open. Matthew Rotella Kirschbaum. It goes in and out of his hands. He was open on the far side.
Can't have that, Steve.
Would have gained back that 5-yard penalty and maybe a few more. So now the Lions facing a 2nd down and 15.
Opportunities don't come very often. You really got to make those catches.
Jet Goforth in the game. Noah Smith here on the slot. Nathan Triggerstead on the slot on the other side, and Ben Wagner on the outside. I'd kind of like to see something between Clayton and Ben Wagner here deep. There's an inside handoff to Walker Little. Hit immediately at the line of scrimmage, and absolutely nothing there. Well, I will give Cougars credit. They have scouted the Lions very effectively, and I will say that other than that big run there by Clayton a couple of plays before.
That inside run's not working.
Nope. 3rd down and 15 for the Lions. Cougars showing a lot of pressure here.
Again, nobody punts anymore, so I think you got to pick up 7 or 8 yards here, and they'll probably go for it on 4th down. If they don't pick this up, then we're going to have to punt away with probably Ben Wagner back there.
Cougars showing a blitz, and they bring the house. Clayton trying to get out of the way, passing deep downfield. Ben Wagner's underthrown. Ben had to go up and play defender.
Actually, needed 2 more yards over that defender's head. We probably had a touchdown from Ben Wagner. They consistently have not had a safety back there, Steve.
It's the Gettysburg Bullets.
Okay, I knew. Yep, sorry.
Thank you, Brandon. Great to have you guys listen. We sure appreciate it.
Probably not PC anymore to be called the Bullets, but
right.
Yeah. The big lacrosse school at Gettysburg.
Well, Ben Wagner is going to come in to punt. At least they're showing that. 4th and 15, so going to make the Cougars have to go a little bit farther than
nice punt
midfield.
From there, Ben.
Kind of pooch it over there out of bounds. Goes out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. Jet Goforth was 30 yards away from the ball and got completely demolished in the back of no call. So the Cougars will take over 1st and 10 from their own 30, leading 14-7. We are just underway here in the 2nd quarter. Now, I saw Coach Ware talking to a couple of receivers on that deep ball to Ben Wagner. and he was not happy. So I'm guessing somebody had a missed assignment or they ran the wrong route. But, man, that's as animated as I've ever seen Coach Ware get. He's usually pretty steady Eddie, but, man, he was not happy with somebody's route running there. He's talking to him right now, trying to tell him what his expectations are. So 1st and 10 for the Cougars from their own 30, as I mentioned. 10 minutes, 22 seconds left here in the first half. Cougars leading 14-7. Here's Davis on the rollout. Great pass on the run and a great catch. Incomplete. Wow. Thought he were hauled in. Lawson Livingston, an absolute perfect spiral on the run by Zach Davis. He's rolling out to his right and absolutely threw a bullet, and Livingston couldn't quite come up with it. Hit him in the hands, and as soon as he hit the ground, it bounced free.
Wow, he had another 10 yards past that after he had made that catch. Glad it was incomplete.
All right, so 2nd down and 10 after that incompletion. 5 receivers in the pattern now for the Cougars. 3 on the near side. Little screen on the far side, the flanker screen. And the Lions sniffed that out big time.
Wow.
And actually throw him for about a 5-yard loss.
That was a nice defensive play there. And you know what? They stayed with it. And I saw that he kind of got jerked back. I was hoping that there was no, personal foul on that one.
Zach Davis, he had 3 receivers on the near side, and he did kind of a pump fake, kind of a wide receiver screen fake on this near side, and then threw that little screen to the other side. And, man, the Lions stayed at home. And big stop there, loss of 4 on the play. 3rd down 14. Zach Davis looking to pass, looking down the field. Ooh, almost intercepted. Great play there by Cannon Hunter. Almost stepped in front of that jack and took it to the house. That would have been 6 if he could have gotten a hold of that.
Yeah.
But a good play there by Cannon, a good read.
And just as I said, there was no punting going on. We've seen 2 in a row.
Well, we talked about the need for the Lions defense to come up with a big stop, and boy, they got it there.
Yeah, now you need the offense to do something, Steve, to kind of match what the Cougars have been doing.
I'll tell you, they're most effective, and we saw it in the very first series, and that's the only thing we've seen. If they mixed it up, they don't have their traditional lineup with 2 receivers on each side. There's a punt kind of off the side of the foot of Harmon. It does take kind of a Grace Community roll out to the 43-yard line of the Lions, so they're going to have good field position here. They're on 43. But I was saying, Jack, I like the formation where we threw 3 receivers on one side, mixed it up. We had Trevor in there as a tight end, and it gives you the option for Clayton to run with him as the lead blocker or to roll out, play action. Yeah. It gives you a lot of options.
I think where you're going to see success out of Sobecki tonight running the ball is going to be on the edges. He's got to get to the outside. I don't think we're going to see anything on the inside. I could go back to the stats from the first quarter. He's picking up minus 6-1-1. He got an 11-yard gain. We just really need to get to the outside edge.
Walker Little in the backfield with Sobecki with 2 receivers on each side.
And I might take the second running back out and just have Sobecki back there because it kind of throws it off, and I don't think you're going to get much out of
Little. Look at the pass. He's got Nathan Triggerstead here on the near side. Caught! Oh, in and out of the hands. Oh, my goodness. Double coverage there on Triggerstead, but, man, he thought he reeled it in. Looked like it. He would have been.
Again, there's no safety help on that side. If you guys are watching at home, notice that these deep balls are going to be open if they can get it out there.
I want to remind you to stick around at halftime tonight, folks. Our Stories of Faith this week with high school associate principal Dr. Matt Lambro. Really, really neat testimony. Really cool story about his dad. So 2nd down and 10. There's a keeper by Sobecki up the middle. First time we've seen there's a first down by Sobecki. First time we've seen any sort of penetration through the middle, Jack.
Yeah, good run there. That was almost a fake pass, if you want to call it that. And that's probably what kind of threw the defense off just a touch.
Well, we talked about the workload that Clayton had in that Fort Worth Christian game with Coach Holland. And just an unbelievable performance by
he was exhausted.
That young man. Oh, my gosh. He was spinning. He was beat up, too, after we talked about some pretty gnarly late hits and cheap shots out of bounds. But anyway, here's Sobecki looking to pass here on first down. Caught by Wagner, and his knee hit. So
God, he had another 5 or 6 yards if he could stay off that knee.
Positive yardage there, gain of about 4 on the play, so 2nd down and 6. We'll call it a gain of 5 there. So 2nd down and 5 from the Cougars' 41-yard line. Clock running, 8 minutes, 32 seconds left here in the first half. Lions trailing 14-7, but had a big defensive stop, forced the Cougars to punt. Now they're trying to convert here on this series. Inside handoff to Walker Little, and he is stacked up immediately. No gain on the play.
I mean, it's almost like you're telegraphing where you're going to take that ball right down the middle with the Walker Little back there. He can't get around to the corner, and we're not having any success in the middle. It's almost like I like this little play here.
Yep, here's Trevor in for it's kind of that. Again, you know that Clayton's a risk to run on this play.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a true just designed handoff or if Sebecki's supposed to read the tackle and then pull it back and then cut to the outside if nothing's there. But there's really been, other than that one last run by Sebecki two or three plays ago, been nothing there for the Lions up the middle. Here's Sebecki looking to pass. Pass to the outside, caught by Noah Smith. And he is almost to the 30-yard line. That is enough for a first down. That will move the chains, and the clock stops temporarily at 7 minutes, 31 seconds here in the first half. Again, the Lions trailing 14-7, but looking to answer. Homecoming this week here at Grace Community. The Lions homecoming coming up in a few weeks against Coram Deo. There's Sebecki on the keeper, cuts it to the outside, cuts it back towards the inside. He's hit inside the 20, but that's going to move the chains. Another first down play by the Lions. Nice read there by Clayton Jack. No room really up the middle. He cut it back to the outside the hash mark, and found some positive yardage.
I like this tight end in there, and also they brought the defense. He came over from the right to left, and that allowed Sebecki to get to the outside edge. It almost looked like the play was coming back to the left. So that kind of threw the defense off just a touch.
Tristan Dare switches sides now. Here's Ben Wagner in motion. So wide receiver screen, jet sweep as they call it, and that goes nowhere. A lot of penetration, good penetration there by the Cougars. So that is a big loss on that first down play. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 16.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that play. I'm sure so have the Cougars on a lot of the tape that they probably have on us.
Now, I will say, Jack, the threat of that play was what led to the touchdown pass to Noah Smith earlier, because they brought Ben in motion, did a fake to him, and then Noah was wide open. Here's Clayton looking to pass, flushed out of the pocket, grabbed by the jersey, and he is stacked up, and they can blow the whistle the next millennium if they want to.
Yeah.
51 with a few extra words. Grant Faulkner with a few extra words for Sebecki.
I got something to say to Grant Faulkner.
Well, no gain on the play, or maybe a little loss there, actually. So, loss of 2.
Loss on that, Steve.
So 3rd down and 18 now.
Yeah, that pocket kind of collapsed pretty quickly. I like Tristan Dare in there, that tight end position. I think it's interesting. It kind of throws the defense off a touch, I think.
It does, but I would like to, again, have trips on one side. Just kind of mix it up a little bit, mix up the look.
Mm-hmm.
If you're listening on the Mixler app, you can chat with us. It's going to be a timeout called by the Lions. They want to talk this over. The play clock is running down, and so that stops the game clock with 5 minutes, 25 seconds left here in the first half. Big 3rd down play coming up for the Lions, trailing 14-7. Lions received the opening kickoff and took it back 75 yards after the touchback to start the game, and the Cougars answered very quickly, just over 2-minute drive with some big runs by Blake Harmon and Turner, and they tied it up. And then on the next series, Clayton Sebecki threw an interception, and the return took it back to about the Lions' 35-yard line, and the Cougars were able to convert and make it 14-7.
Sebecki like that. I mean,
sorry, the quarterback for the Lions. If somebody knows who that is, Jack.
Yeah,
hey, nothing but love for that young man.
And actually, that play was there. I mean, I feel like we've had at least 2 drops, and then the interception, and they both have been about a yard or 2 short of where he really needs to be. And again, pay attention to this lack of safety on these cornerbacks, and I think the outside deep ball is going to be available if you can get, and I think it was Triggerstead that kind of outran his cornerback, but look how in these guys are on the
your linebackers
formation.
are in. Yeah, you've got a lot of men in the box.
Out, but watch it.
Sebecki looking to pass across the middle. Noah Smith complete inside the 15-yard line. So it's not enough for a first down, but it does cut their distance down by about half. So it brings up about 4th down, and we'll call it 4th and 7, excuse me. Ball at the 14-yard line.
Nice catch right there by Noah Smith. That's a tough catch across the middle like that. And that safety was there this time.
Empty backfield for Sebecki with 2 receivers on each side. Coach Ware changing the play up a little bit here. 10 seconds left on the play clock.
Doesn't Tristan Dare look like a tight end, by the way?
100%, yeah.
I love the number. I love his size.
Sebecki looking to pass. Tipped. Falls incomplete. Sebecki hit hard there.
Yeah.
So the Lions will turn it over on downs. 4 minutes, 38 seconds left here. Showed some promise there early on that drive, Jack. And again, the defense had that big stand and forced the Cougars to punt, but the Lions could not convert.
What are we going to do here, Steve? Oh. I guess we'll bring the defense back out.
We are bringing the defense back. Yes, we don't have an option. We turned it over on downs.
Jack tuberculosis just get back in.
Jack is answering his many fans on social media and on the chat.
I didn't know.
You okay?
The tuberculosis kicking back in.
A reminder to stick around at halftime for our Stories of Faith. Dr. Matt Lambro. Trying to get you the Grapevine Faith cheerleaders if they do a routine as well. Here's a kind of an end around. Oh, sniffed out perfectly by the Lions.
I like
Big
that.
loss on the play.
I like the play. I guess I don't like the way I'm sure the Cougars didn't like the way it got executed. But
Matthew Rotella, Kirschbaum, and Van Shoemaker in there on the tackle.
My man Van Shoemaker, the best Fortnite player I've ever seen before. At least that's what I'm told by Knox Wharton.
Here's a stoppage on the play. I'm not sure. The official was stopping the clock. I'm not sure. I don't think the Cougars called a timeout.
Yeah, that is weird. Unless
the clock is not running currently, so I'm not sure what the. Okay, there we go. I have no idea why they stopped the clock, but it's running now, or supposed to be running, and they're not running it. Got to love the home clock operator. Pass across the middle.
A lot of time.
Tipped
up.
Of
time there.
Tipped up by Lawson Livingston.
That
ball's incomplete.
That's a drop, and he had a ton of time back there.
Yep. I'll tell you, Jack, I know they got plenty of time to score. They had that steady diet of Harmon and Turner.
Yeah.
The running backs, they're big running backs on those first few series, and now they're trying jet sweeps and they're trying, pass. Man, just feed the ball to those guys if I'm Grace.
I don't know. They were killing it on the run. I mean, they were picking up 10, 10-yard clips at a time.
3 receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side. Davis looking to pass. Finally some pressure, throws down.
Oh, gosh.
Almost. That was Colin Abercrombie was in his vicinity, but out of his reach. So that brings up a 4th down. With 4 minutes and 13 seconds left here in the first half, Jack, the Lions are probably going to have a pretty good field position and plenty of time to score.
Yep. Again, I talked about punting, and now all we see is punts. Sorry about that, Steve. I kind of jinxed us. That was a fun game.
Harmon he's in his end zone. He'd be kicking from about the goal line unless he runs it out a couple. Ben Wagner back deep. Snap is good. Harmon gets the kickoff. Whoa. Not a great. It's not too bad. Oh, well, it takes a huge Grace bounce, and that goes out of bounds.
Wow.
Just over midfield. So the Lions will take over 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line. We'll see where they spot it.
That's a nice 42-yard punt there.
47-yard line. Yeah, that didn't look great off. It was an ugly punt. It was really weird coming off his foot, but it took a huge Grace community bounce. And the greatness that is Mark Edwards. Mark, what do you think?
So we got a good defensive stop. Now we just need 6 points scored by the defense.
Yeah,
I think it'll come up in the second half.
Well, they've got to score. Yeah,
watch out. That's riveting. Thanks, Mark.
Offense has got to score, no doubt. So empty backfield for Sebecki.
We got to score more points than the other team, Steve, to win this game.
Takes it up the middle, but he cuts it to the outside. Nice sidestep on a defender.
Oh, he's still
Gets out over inside Cougar territory, so gain of about 6 on the play. We'll bring up 2nd down and 4. Clock running, 3 minutes, 52 seconds left. The Lions have 2 timeouts left.
Shows you what I know. I mean, we talked about not being able to get the run up the middle, and we've been running the ball up the middle as soon as I said that.
Right.
We're not going to punt the ball, and we punt it every time. So I don't know what to tell you.
Well, that middle closed up pretty quick, and Clayton did a nice little sidestep to his left to get around the defender. A lot of pressure here coming from the Cougars. They're showing it.
Yep.
Pass down the far side, looking for Ben Wagner. And they're tripped up.
Yeah, that safety had moved over there. I don't know if Clayton had saw that or not, but they finally are starting to put a safety back there.
Clayton's got rattled there. I didn't see what the situation was, but he got shaken up a little bit.
He's coming off. I just saw the replay on the YouTube. He's coming off his feet to make that throw, and it kind of leaves him vulnerable whenever somebody's hitting him. So it makes that hit that much more, forceful.
3rd down and 4 now. Clock stop, 3 minutes, 27 seconds left here in the first half. The Lions trailing 14-7. Snap back to Sebecki. Looks to the far side. Noah Smith complete. He's got the 1st down and then some. Gets out of bounds. Nice play there by Noah Smith.
Noah's come up big on 3rd downs for us tonight.
He really has. Tonight. He really has. They're so focused, you would think, on Ben Wagner on the outside that Noah from that slot position has made some key catches there.
Yeah, nice completion for about 15 yards there.
Okay, he went out of bounds, and the clock is still running, so I can't answer that. I have no idea why that is.
I want to shout out to Julie and Cody Howell. They're listening from the great city of Frisco, Texas tonight.
Keeper by Sebecki, right up the middle. He's still on his feet. Breaks a couple tackles at the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Lions. No flags on the play.
He has been sniffing that for a long time this game already, Steve. He wanted that run down the middle.
No doubt.
And showing that speed.
Boy, you can see some burst of energy there from Clayton, man. He is a lot of confidence coming off of that run. He was not going to be denied. And a huge run by Clayton Sebecki.
Yeah, I really wish I'd seen more tape on Grace Community. I mean, I think, they're really just taking that safety off of there. I don't know why. I wish I knew.
3 minutes, 2 seconds left. Josh Holroyd in with the extra point, and it is good right down the middle.
The mystery.
So the Lions tie it up here. 3 minutes, 2 seconds left in the first half. We are tied at 14. Couple of defensive stands by both teams, and then finally the Lions break through on a big run there. How long was that run, Jack? Did you get the yardage on that?
38-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, nice. So Sebecki, I think he's realized he's going to have to kind of, at times, put this team on his back like he's done pretty much all season. And, but boy, the offensive line, Austin Bowling, Ryan Purdue, Max Martin, and Austin Bowling really coming up big. Tristan Dare as well in that kind of tight end position. You talked about Trevor Williams at the center position, so that offensive line really coming up big and creating some holes for Clayton on that drive.
Yeah, I'm really trying to figure out this game plan we got tonight. I mean, it looks like success on the run is going to be the outside, but then all of a sudden, you find that success right down the middle.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I feel like Grace Community came out with a little more energy on their first offensive drive than we showed. We kind of went out there like, hey, this is a 48-minute ball game that we're going to have to figure out how to get started here. But they came out hot, and I don't know if they can sustain that tonight. I mean, maybe that's what's happening here in the second quarter, that the adrenaline's kind of draining a little bit from Grace Community, and we're just finding that hole in the middle.
And it felt that very similar to the Fort Worth Christian game, Jack, where, man, the Cardinals were fired up before the game even started, and we seemed to come out a little bit flat, a little somber. There's Josh Holroyd with a squibber and fielded up at about the 22-yard line by Harmon.
You don't want him.
Big head of steam, and he is finding a hole, trying to beat Josh Holroyd, and Blake Harmon is going to score, and there are no flags on the play. And the Cougars, just like that, go back up 20-14. Huge run by Harmon.
Well, if there's a positive of that, Steve, is that they left 2 minutes and 50 seconds still on the clock.
Yeah, what were they thinking?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I have to believe that's going to be a topic discussion in the locker room at halftime, is how to figure out an answer for number 42 and even 34, Turner. But Blake Harmon there. Folks, if we're not on the air next week, it's because Jack and I both are hospitalized with tuberculosis because he gave it to me.
No, I'm back. I'm fine. I went to that tuberculosis farm, Steve. I'm good.
New Mexico, was it?
New Mexico, high in the mountains.
Here's Harmon to attempt the extra point, and he barely gets it over. He was so tired from running on that kickoff return that he barely had enough energy to get it over. But the Cougars take a 21-14 lead now with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. Lions with 2 timeouts. But the defense is going to have to figure out. Again, that was on a kick return. We understand that. But Harmon has been a effective weapon for the Cougars this entire first half.
Luella Wallace and her husband are listening down from Corpus Christi, Texas tonight. Steve?
Rick and Pam Jensen listening from Richardson. It's Jensen Anthony's.
Steve, let me ask this question. It may sound rude. Maybe I shouldn't ask. Never mind.
All right, I'm going
to. Why don't we just kick it away? Why do we have to squib it?
I don't know.
I mean, just kick it. You got Holroyd. He's going to
put it. Okay, because then if you kick it to the deep guys and they run it back, you're going to be like, why didn't we squib it to one of the up guys?
No, I will never say that. I mean, we had this guy out of Tech named Manny Mansakis.
Oh, here we go.
This guy, like the special teams guru that he was, there was always tricks on the kickoff. You know what?
Course.
Just kick the ball away.
Yes, that is the trickery of 13th grade that is Texas Tech football.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot, Steve. We got a big ball game this weekend, don't we?
Yeah, Baylor and Texas Tech.
Baylor, yeah.
You guys will probably thump us by 40.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can. But
want to say hey to Kevin Abercrombie listening from the Byron Nelson Haltom City game.
Hey,
Haltom's homecoming.
Kevin, thank you for your donation for our computer
setup
as well.
One of our broadcast buddies.
We call them the broadcast buddies.
Byron is up 28-0 at halftime. Halfway through the second quarter. Apologies. So they're up big on Haltom City. So good luck to.
I'm going to count
Kevin's
that, by the way, that
playing.
split kick as an onside kick, and it doesn't count. 23% is the success rate, by the way.
Hey, 60% of the time, it works every time. All right, here are the Cougars now after scoring on the kickoff return. And they boot that high.
This is
by
a
Wagner at about the 8. Looking
Block
for some blocks. He takes it up the middle. They did close that up quickly. So he was patient with it, but it had an opening there, and it closed up pretty quickly. So Lions take over 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line.
Not a problem here, Steve. All we got to do is drive down the ball, run the clock out, and score, and then hold them the first series of the second half. And then we're back in this ball game. Right back in it, Steve.
We got it all figured out. All right. 2 minutes, 45 seconds left.
I didn't have this much energy
Ben Wagner in motion.
Last week, by the
There's
way,
2
weeks ago.
Fake on the jet sweep.
Go.
Colton takes it to the outside. He's out inside the 40, still on his feet, down the sideline. He's got one person to beat. He's inside the 30. Cuts it back to the middle of the field. Down at the 12-yard line. Huge run. No flags on the play. Wow, what a run by Clayton Sebecki. Wow. I'll tell you one thing. It was good to see him running right past Grant Faulkner, who's been talking in his ear all night long. So a big run there by Clayton Sebecki.
A little 62-yard run there. That kind of gets the energy going on the sidelines.
Clock continues to run. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left here in the first half.
Where was that success on that run, Steve? Was it inside or was it
was
outside?
Yeah, it was outside.
Outside run.
You're so smart.
Yeah.
Right at 2 minutes. Sebecki on the keeper again. Sidesteps one guy, gets inside the 10-yard line, so gain of about 3 on the play. We'll call it, second down and 7. Lions can get a first down without scoring if they get inside the 2. Clock continues to run. Minute 45 left here in the first half. Sebecki with the empty backfield. Lions still with 2 timeouts, trailing 21-14.
I really like to see Sebecki run this play clock down just a touch more, give him a breath a little bit, and also runs that game clock down a little bit.
Yeah, but preferably no time on the clock so they don't even have to kick it off after they score. There's Sebecki trying to get in. He's tied up. Gain of about 1 on the play. There's Faulkner in on that tackle again. Seen a lot of him tonight. There is a timeout by the officials. There is a player down on the field. Don't know who that is. We'll try to get a number if we can.
who should meet in the north end zone for that.
Let's go.
Jack, we got an injured player.
No, I'm just excited, Steve. Tonight I am excited. I have more energy than I had 2 weeks ago. You noticed it. Hopefully the fans on the radio and the broadcast didn't notice it. Hey,
well, folks, we'll see what happens here at halftime. They do take that player off. I didn't get a number. Was that Faulkner? Let's see if we can get a number on him. He's about to turn. He's a big kid, whoever it is.
I think it's 42.
Is it Harmon? That's their big running back. And he's holding his left shoulder. He got tied up there. And, we can't. I think it is 42. I think you're right, Jack.
He refuses to move his arms.
Yeah, he's blocking his number there. We can't see it. I'm hoping that we don't have an upside down stories of faith, folks, but it's going to be it's going to be what it's going to be tonight.
Show.
Here's Clayton rolls out, looking for somebody. Caught by Nathan Triggerstead, touchdown. Grapevine Faith.
Wow, I like that play, Steve. Triggerstead, I think he was a little bit nervous trying to catch that ball. Kind of caught it and fell down real quickly on that. Well, we got 1:08 left on the clock. Hopefully that doesn't give Grace much time to do anything with it.
Boy, that was a nice patience there. I'm not sure if that was design rollout or if Clayton was just forced out of the pocket. Kick is up by Josh Holroyd, and it is good. Seems like there's a lot of extra talking by the Cougars here in this first half, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But the Lions come back here and answer, make it 21-all. So when they needed to come back and respond to that kickoff return, Jack, they do it, and very effectively with, I'm not sure, how much time was that you have the time on that drive?
Yeah, it was about a minute, just under 2 minutes. About 1:49 on that one.
Okay. So we mentioned it's homecoming here for Grace Community, so they've got a lot of halftime activities. You see the Grapevine Faith cheerleaders there, encouraging the fans to get loud and get behind their team. Update from Coach Burke. 7 minutes left in the second quarter. Bishop Dunn 22, Coram Deo 7.
Sorry, there's somebody yelling, kick it out of bounds.
I think I know who that is.
It's not me.
It's not you, Jack.
No.
I'm not going to say, but one of the Lion faithful parents.
Minute 42 on that last drive, Steve. I'm sorry, I had to do a little bit of mathematics.
Okay.
Math is fun, Steve.
Here's Holroyd to kick.
No.
They kick it away, though. They kick it away from Harmon. Field at the 20-yard line on the far sideline. He's knocked out of bounds, so didn't have much room to run there. Connor McCoy with the return for the Cougars. So they'll have decent field position at their own 34-yard line. 1:04 left. We are tied at 21.
I'm not talking about the refs tonight, Steve. That's a good thing. I think we've only had 2 penalties tonight, both on Faith, only for 10 yards.
So defense looking to come up big here with the stop. 1:04 left. Keep the Cougars out of the end zone and out of field goal range.
I think they call it bucking up, buckaroo.
It's a man in motion. They fake the jet sweep. Zach Davis looking to pass. Looking downfield, well overthrown. Great coverage there by Cannon Hunter.
That's offensive pass interference there.
There was no chance anybody was catching that one. That was
Mrs. Wharton needed a score update. It's 21-21, April, with 59 seconds left.
That. I literally just said that 10 seconds. Come on, April. You know what? She probably turns her sound off when I'm talking and only wants to hear her husband.
Yeah,
so.
Is there a way to do that?
I don't know. On her end, yes. We are tied at 21. Clock stop with 59 seconds left. There is a I'm not sure what happened. I think Coach Topping threw the ball out to the
and the band is on the field. The band is on the field. Did he throw it out there?
I don't know. I don't know if it's. I just looked over and saw him walking back.
I think he did. I think he had the
There's an inside handoff to Turner. Still on his feet. Breaks a couple of tackles. Still on his feet. Sidesteps a tackler. Finally coming. Trevor Williams tracks him down all the way down inside the 35-yard line. So a big tackle. There is a flat. Nope. There's somebody's shoe. somebody lost their shoe. So Trevor Williams does not have his shoe, and the Lions, I believe, only have 10 men on the field. They only have 10 men. There's a penalty flag down. Hand off to Turner inside. He drives forward. Offsides against the Lions.
No, really? Now that's actually bad teammates right there. There should have been the substitution ready to go in there for Trevor with that shoe.
Coach Ware is trying to explain to him that, hey, my guy's going down to get his shoe. I'm trying to get a defensive sub in. You're not going to give me time to get lined up. The penalty's declined anyway, so the result of the play looks like a 5-yard gain. 6-yard gain, so they'll call it second down. Ball spotted at the 26-yard line, 27-yard line. So man in motion. Handoff there to the receiver coming around. He cuts to the outside, still on his feet.
I think they're
trying to find some room.
Oh, I saw something.
No, I saw something fly too, Jack. I think it was maybe a pom-pom or something over. Oh, it's a towel. Kid's got a towel over there.
Okay.
Looked like a flag.
I'm going to go there in halftime and tell that kid to stop throwing that towel.
Big run there by J.T. Williams. So that's going to be a first and goal. 32 seconds left here in the first half. Game tied at 21. Mark, we need a big stand here. We'll get Mark's thoughts when we come out at halftime. Mark Edwards, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch on our camera tonight. There's Harmon in motion. Hand off to Turner. He cuts it inside, untouched into the end zone for a touchdown.
That's not how I drew it up, Steve.
No, was a minute 20 left when the Lions scored, and we were not expecting that. So the Cougars have taken a 27-21 lead.
You know what the problem is? They left 29 seconds on the clock.
Right.
Us, yeah.
Well, let's hope that's the case. Here's that swinging gate formation. All right, they do shift over. Looks like they're going to attempt the kick. Gabriel King in the kick for the Cougars. Snap is good. The hold is good, and the kick is up and blasted through. Where's that kid been all game?
I don't know. That's a nice kick.
Strongest leg this side of the Mississippi. Good grief. I'm not sure whether they had anybody else out there even attempting a field goal or extra point. All right, so 29 seconds left here in the first half. The Cougars just scored to take a 28-21 lead over the Grapevine Faith Lions. And a very frustrated Lions defense coming off the field, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, you can almost say, again, we talked about it last week. I felt like they played, or 2 weeks ago, I felt like they played pretty good defensively, but you gave up 58 points. And a couple of them were, not the result of the defense. But even tonight, I felt like they've kind of held their own. I mean, that big run there just really put you behind it.
Yep. So. Well, coming up at halftime, we mentioned our Stories of Faith. Folks, I'm going to warn you, this might be an upside-down Stories of Faith. Jack, go ahead.
It's the upside-down Stories of Faith. It's the upside-down Stories of Faith.
I have no idea what is going on with when I load it into our production truck video queue. It is right side up, and everything looks great. And then we go to show it, and it is upside down. So I will post it on the Faith YouTube channel. Been doing that with all of our Stories of Faith. So if you've missed one, or even if you haven't, you want to go back and review those. They're on the Grapevine Faith YouTube channel. And we'll post Dr. Lambros from this week, this weekend.
What a great night out tonight, Steve. I'm glad that we're not sweating to death.
Man, beautiful weather. Would like to see a turnaround in this game. 29 seconds left here in the first half. King to kick off. Wagner and Sebecki deep. Lions trailing 28-21. And they do kick it deep. And that is going to be, it hits at about the 7. Wagner picks it up, spins around by the 5.
Go.
Looks up the middle. Go. Still on his feet. He's breaking a tackle. Nobody's going to touch him. There are no flags on the play. And Ben Wagner, touchdown, Grapevine Faith. Wow. Well, Jack, I'll say this.
I told you they left 29 seconds on the clock.
Come film time next week, there's going to be some discussions with both of these teams, special teams group.
Usually they fire the special teams coaches
Yes,
after these
yes.
2 weeks, right?
Wow. Well, you just felt it been itching at it all night.
Yeah.
You felt like just Ben Wagner needed to come in and
we talked about it too on another, like a kick return, that when you don't catch it clean, it can either be a real big disaster or it could be a really big success. And on that one, it was a really big success.
you're right, man. He let it hit and then caught it kind of behind him. There's a Holroyd kick is up and good. So we are tied at 28.
Hey, that was a low snap, set back up by Christian Corley. Nice recovery there.
Hey, great news, Jack. We just tied the game. Bad news, Jack.
Gotta kick off.
15 seconds left on the clock. Although last time it was good. The kickoff was good.
Just kick it away. Just for me.
Yes, please.
I mean,
just for Jack's sanity.
Just kick it to the end zone. I mean, Holroyd's got a good enough leg to kick it, so let's do it. Mark is zeroing in on the scoreboard. I like how his camera work. It's really
he is
good.
Johnny on the spot, is he not?
Yep.
Want to thank our host here at Grace Community. The coaches from both teams have been great. AD here at Grace Community have been very accommodating. Beautiful new press box and stands over here on the visitor side that are new this year. And, man, really, really nice.
Yep.
Big crowd on the Grace Community side for sure. They're probably, I'm going to say 80, 85% full. And not quite as full on the Grapevine Faith side, but, again, 2-hour drive. So
I think there's a lot of people sitting or kind of walking around, Steve, because they've got these halftime festivities. So I would say it's even closer to maybe 90.
Yeah, you're right on the Grace side. Yep, Good point. There's a lot of folks down on the side waiting for some of the halftime festivities and so forth. Dad's going to walk their daughters on the homecoming court and so forth. All right, Josh Holroyd to kick off for the Lions. Let's hope they can contain this one. 15 seconds left. We are tied at 28. Line drive kick goes all the way back to the 10. Big head of steam there by Turner. He just runs out of bounds.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Turner.
Yes. So the Cougars will take over 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line. 12 seconds left, and the Cougars do have all 3 timeouts left. Jack, I would be shocked if they took a knee here. I have to believe they're going to do, maybe hand the ball off and hoping they can catch a seam somewhere, or try to throw the ball deep, maybe look for a big reception or some sort of pass interference. But
if I see a linebacker within 15 yards of the line of scrimmage, I'm going to be very irritated. They are within 15 yards.
Here's a handoff to Turner. Stops, runs up behind one of his own players, and he's tackled out over the 35-yard line. So close to, they're going to give, that's first down yardage. That's going to stop the clock. And the Cougars take a timeout. Clock did stop momentarily for them to move the chains, but the Cougars did step in and use one of their 3 remaining timeouts. So 5 seconds left. Again, we are tied at 28. Both teams with a kickoff return for a touchdown. Harmon for the Cougars a couple minutes ago, and then Ben Wagner answers on that last kickoff. So big plays there.
Mark has a comment.
What do you got, Mark?
Oh, no, I didn't have it. I just think it's going to come down to who scores the most points tonight. I mean, that's all there is to it.
It's probably the guy who scores last.
I've seen stats, and 70% of the time, the team that scores the most points wins the game.
Yeah,
so
I was just talking to some folks out here, and that's what they think.
Yeah,
too.
who are you talking to exactly? There's nobody who's by you.
Oh no, there's Barry Irwin.
Barry Irwin and Tim
Barry?
Smith.
Oh, right there. That's Barry. Okay, I didn't see him slide in. Okay.
Again, folks, you're just not going to get that kind of analysis anywhere else.
Hard hitting.
So
it's like 60 Minutes reporters showed up on the camera.
5 seconds. There's a handoff to Turner.
Come on.
He's looking for a hole. Brings it back to the middle of the field.
Contain.
Finally taken down. He gets inside of the Lions territory. Finally taken down. So fortunately, the first half comes to an end. So the Lions, with a little bit of momentum there, the Lions will they will kick off to start the second half. So the Cougars will receive the second half kickoff. We'll pause here momentarily. If the cheerleaders are going to perform here for Grapevine Faith, we'll show you that here first, and then we'll cut to our stories of faith. It is halftime, as you mentioned, so yeah, it looks like the Faith cheerleaders are going to have their performance And then the the homecoming festivities here at halftime will commence for the Cougars. So after this performance by and I don't know if the dance team is performing or not. Jack, I saw a few of them here tonight.
We got a 28-minute halftime, Steve. Everybody's performing, I think.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Jack Wharton will be doing a solo tonight as well.
Oh, holy night.
Oh, my gosh. Who knew it was Christmas here in October?
Well, when you drop to 20 degrees, it feels like Christmas.
All right, so make sure that Mark's got the Mark's going to zoom in on the cheerleader squad, make sure that we get that for you. And after this performance, then we will go to our Stories of Faith with Dr. Matt Lambro. Again, our halftime score, Cougars 28, your Grapevine Faith Lions 28. And here come the dance team for the Lions, the Lionettes. So we'll give you their performance, and then we will bring you the cheerleaders, and then we'll cut to our Stories of Faith.
Lioness of the week for this week has been Reagan Van Thiel. Performing next will be the Grapevine Faith Varsity Cheerleaders.
It's halftime of the Lions-Cougars game, so it's time for our Stories of Faith. If you're not familiar with Stories of Faith, it gives us an opportunity to really highlight the amazing people at Grapevine Faith Christian School and to be able to tell their stories. And this week, I'm honored and privileged to have the Associate High School Principal, Dr. Matt Lambro here. So, Matt, we appreciate the time. We're really excited to tell your story.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to hang out with you.
Thank you. Well, I guess the first thing I should say is welcome, because you're in your first year at Grapevine Faith, been here a few months. We're obviously excited to have you, but talk about what these first few months have brought you, what they've been like.
Yeah, it's been great jumping into the Faith family and the community, learning as many of the kids' names as I can, getting to go to all the different events and games, and it's been a joy. It's been a homecoming for my family, so we love it.
Well, if somebody says, okay, what does an associate high school principal do? What kind of is what all's entailed in that job description?
Yeah.
What does your day look like?
Great question. So I think the biggest priority is delivering on the school's mission, and that looks a lot of different ways every day. How are we developing and graduating authentic Christian leaders? And so some days it's meeting with students who have ideas of things they want to see happen on campus. Some days it's discipline, not that kids ever do anything wrong here at Faith. Some days it's faculty and just getting to spend time listening to them and seeing how I can help serve them and set them up for success in their classrooms. And so it's a little bit of a lot of things. I usually start the day by holding the door. That's probably my favorite part of the day, is being a door holder first thing in the morning and saying hi to kids as they come in. So from there, it goes a lot of different directions.
I get it. No 2 days are the same.
No
I'm sure.
2 days are the same.
Well, you've got an extensive and impressive resume, which we'll get into in just a second, but not the least of which is husband and father. So tell us about the Lambro family.
Yeah, my wife Jana and I have been married for 13 years now, and we're both from Grapevine, and so we didn't know each other growing up. She went to another private school, and I was a public school kid at Colleyville, and then met in college at ACU, and now I have two beautiful little daughters, Maddie Jo and Ella Kate. Maddie's 5 in Miss Ledbetter's class, and Ella Kate will hopefully be here in the fall in pre-K.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I talked about your resume, your CV, and your business card. It must look like an eye chart. And I might have to check my notes here because I can't remember all this. You received your bachelor's from Abilene Christian, which you mentioned. You attended Fuller Theological Seminary, received a master's from Dallas Baptist, and received your doctorate from Pepperdine. I mean, you must have started when you were 12 years old. Talk about your focus on education and the motivation behind that.
Yeah, the irony is I was the kid that ran away from elementary school. And so I was not a school kid. Monday morning was my least favorite time of the week, and yet now I work at a school. So that is a testament to God and His grace. I think the answer of why education was, I had a mentor in high school and throughout college, a Sunday school teacher who just talked about the power of curiosity and the humility that it requires in your life. And seeing what he had accomplished in his life and the man he had become really rubbed off on me, and said, okay, I want that. I want to be someone that wants to learn and grow and change and develop into who God wants me to be. And so I'm not a nerd. I am not a person that likes to read the fanciest of books at times, but I'm curious. And so that's where a lot of that's come from.
Well, it sounds like working with youth and teaching has really been part of your DNA since you finished school. I mean, you've been a counselor at Pine Cove, you worked at FCA, Young Life, you even taught at St. Mark's in Dallas, and you were the wrestling, football, and golf coach. Your most recent stint was at Trinity Christian Academy, where you're the director of student development. So there's really a calling on your life about it, really. Yeah,
I've loved the stops along the way. Just this last week, being on retreat with the 10th, 11th, and 12th graders was a full circle moment for me. We were back at T-Bar M, and the last time I was there was when I was on FCA staff in college 17 years ago.
Wow.
So, and I remember while I was at camp doing interviews, thinking I might go into business, and pulling away from the retreat back then, doing these interviews, and then to see where God has me now. I was taking pictures and texting a mentor that I'd had during my time in college, saying, full circle moment, where am I? God is calling. He gives me billboards because I need them. And so I always say I'm poor, pitiful, blind, and stupid, but I'm only to where I am because of God. And He has drugged me to the calling that He's put on my life. And I'm thankful for it. And I've gotten to be a part of some great schools and ministries along the way that I've really loved getting to be a part of.
Well, that's a great segue to my next question. It's almost like you read the script here, but none of this happens, obviously, without a relationship with Christ. So tell us about your faith journey.
Yeah. So growing up in Grapevine, we didn't really go to church a whole lot when we first moved here from Connecticut. I was in second grade, and mom was grew up kind of going Catholic schools, and we didn't really go to church very often, maybe Christmas, Easter only kind of deal. Dad was Greek Orthodox, same deal. We didn't go to church a ton on his side either. And so when we got to Texas, we didn't go to church much. I grew up in Greenbrier Estates, the neighborhood that backs up to the corn maze where the pumpkin patch is right now, and never went until some friends. I lived in a 3-street neighborhood that had 13 boys my age in it,
Wow.
which is like every kid's dream come true. And one of those boys invited me to go to vacation Bible school with him that summer right after we moved here. And it was the first time I'd ever really been to anything that was designed programmatically for a kid that was Christian in nature, and loved it. But at the end of the week, there was Family Sunday. We went that one time as a family to church. And that was it after coming here. And 6 months later, my sister got really sick. I had 3 sisters. My middle sister, Brittany, ended up needing a heart transplant.
Wow.
She was 2 at the time. And that pastor at that church, what's now called Compass, back then it was Highland Meadows, his name was Randy Snyder, latched onto our family. And for 2 years while my sister was in the hospital, did the old school approach of showing up every week with Sonic drinks and cassette recording of his sermon and gave it to my mom. And through that journey, I was an angry kid. My dad was not in the healthiest of places, pretty bad alcoholic, successful businessman, but through a shipping brokerage company was shipping more than what he should have been, involving a lot of drug trafficking and other stuff. But I had an elementary school principal who loved Jesus and was trying to figure out why I kept running away, and kind of peeled back the layers on what was going on in our family, told my mom I needed more help than the school could offer, and started bringing me to this church down the street, which was Compass, for counseling, and didn't really like talking to the counselor. I thought that was weird as a kid. I'm like, who's this random person? But I thought the janitor was really cool, and his name was Bo, and Bo lived out the gospel, but also shared it with me, and for all intents and purposes really filled the shoes of my dad as a kid.
Wow.
And so that started when I was in about 3rd grade, 4th grade. Bo got hired as my middle school youth minister. He got a promotion, and then became a high school youth pastor later. In between there, I had John Brooks as my youth pastor for about a year. But yeah, Bo lived out the gospel in a way that I thought, I want that in my life. How do I love others like that? How do I seek out the lost who aren't going to necessarily find God on their own? And so yeah, huge impact on my life. And my mom still works at that church today. She, after my dad kind of walked out in the middle of everything going on with my sister, they gave my mom a job as a preschool teacher and one of the secretaries in the church office. And I think she's on year 28 or 29 now, and she's still there. My baby sister, my youngest sister, ended up marrying the preacher's son, the next preacher, not the one who was there when we were there.
Right, you clarified.
Yeah, so they're there. She's married to Landon, and they're back in the area now. And my sister that had the heart transplant, body initially rejected the heart, no brain activity for 2 weeks. Do you pull the plug? What do you do? And she snapped out of it one day, and there was so much brain damage, the doctor said she'll never walk, talk. She'll be in a vegetative state the rest of her life. But it's not how it panned out. God had a plan, and she ended up with about a 2nd to 3rd grade mental kind of education capacity. But socially, she was somewhere between an 8th grader and senior in high school, depending on the day. And lived a great life, ended up beating cancer twice miraculously. Both times didn't look good, and then, miraculously healed, and then ended up needing a kidney transplant because the medication, the treatments from the cancer and chemo needed kidney transplant, but then her heart was too weak and her kidney was too weak. So she ended up passing away about 6 years ago. The other part of that story that's significant is my dad, who walked out in the middle of all that when I was 9 years old. I started praying for him my senior year of high school because a stranger at Cotton Patch in Grapevine told me to start praying for my dad. And I was like, that's a big ask. You don't know what you're saying, but started praying for my dad. And almost a year later to the day, my freshman year of college, got a phone call from my dad and said, I don't deserve a relationship with you, but if you ever want to forgive me, I'd love to have one. And I'm trying to reconcile and come back and ask for forgiveness. I'm a Christ follower now. And so I was like, okay. So spring break, freshman year in college, jumped on a plane and flew to South Florida to reconnect with my dad. And we had several years of being able to rebuild that relationship before he passed away. And So yeah, God drags me to him. I don't have a lot of excuses. So I love what I get to do and getting to share that with kids. And, our stories, God gives us them for a reason. So I'm thankful.
Well, I would tell you, I don't get emotional in any of these, but that, man, I may need a second, but I'm gonna try to move on. But man, that's just a testimony of God's grace, and so wow, thank you for sharing that. Well, you've seen a lot. Clearly, you've been active everywhere you've been, and you were really, I think, entrenched there at Trinity Christian for 7 years or so. And Grapevine Faith snatched you away. So I know it brought you guys back to the Grapevine area, but what was the drawback to come to Grapevine Faith?
Yeah. Growing up in this area, I've been around faith kind of since it started. The interest meeting was at Compass. I'm pretty sure I was working with my mom in the nursery the night they had the first meeting about faith. And so it's been, when I say full circle, I mean it. The Christmas parties that the Hubbard family used to host, I used to work as one of the caterers at those. So I've been around faith since I was in 7th, 8th grade. And Dr. Smith's always been someone that I just had, immense respect for and appreciation for. And Gary Statz is a man that was also a part of my story and a big part of Faith's story as a school. Gary and I got connected when I hired his daughter, Mallory, who's a Faith alum, to come on Young Life staff with me. And that was 12, 13 years ago now, longer than that maybe. And I was at St. Mark's and she was at Hockaday, and that was a really crucial hire. And Mallory, I ended up supervising and hiring most of the staff for all of DFW Young Life. And I can easily say Mallory was the best that I ever hired. And she stood out. And so that also intrigued me of, man, if Faith can produce alums that look like this and can lead ministries in such a challenging place, then I'm intrigued. I want to know more. And over a long time, Gary Statz continued to say, you need to meet Dr. Smith. You need to meet Dr. Smith. And then about my first year at TCA at Trinity, he said, no, you need to meet Dr. Smith. Now that I know you're at a Christian school, there's no excuse. I'm not stealing you from Young Life. I'm stealing you from another Christian school. You need to meet Dr. Smith. I said, I don't know. Let me pray about it. Well, I ended up signing a document saying I would be on an accreditation team. And lo and behold, the school I got assigned was Faith. So I did Faith's last accreditation. I was one of the guests. And Dr. Smith at the end of it said, okay, now we can talk civil or above board. And it doesn't look like we had a friendship. I said, okay. And that conversation continued over years of praying and what would it look like and what would it come. And John Brooks was a big part of that too. I ran into him at an event at Southwest Christian. He kind of reopened the door and said, hey, maybe there's still something. Maybe God wants you to come. And I said, okay. And then Dr. Horner was also a friend who's new, came from Georgia last year. And he was someone that I had said, hey, this is a good guy that I think Faith should reach out to. And so between Mr. Brooks and Dr. Smith and Dr. Horner reaching out this last spring, it was like, all right, Lord, like, I get it. Like you've set it up and I'm excited, and was able to talk and pray with my wife. And it's like, yes, we want to be all in. We're not interested in moving around to climb a school ladder. We want to be all in wherever we are and be great great husband and wife, mom and dad to our daughters. And this is a place we're excited to be, and for our daughters and their journey over the next decade.
Well, it didn't sound like you had much of a shot, man. You got tag teamed by the best there. Yeah. Well, Dr. Lambo, you and I really don't face, and I've got several years on you, but we never really faced the pressures and challenges growing up that the youth of today have. And so kind of a two-part question. I guess the first part is, from where you sit, what are the most pressing challenges for young people today? And the second part of that is how is Grapevine Faith equipped to help parents and administrators and faculty address some of those challenges?
Yeah, the challenges of today, man, there are so many. I'm grateful, like you said, of not growing up today. I think it's a challenge. I think it's harder than ever. And I don't think that trajectory is ever going to change until Christ comes back. But I think that, today the pressures of an addiction of a phone. I mean, I saw this on full display last week on the retreat of the kids not having the phone and the benefit that came from it. Parents, I'm not telling you to all take your phones away from your children, but I think that it's hard. You're walking around with access to the world in your pocket. And I think that comes with a huge amount of responsibility and stewardship that most kids aren't ready to deal with and face. And so I think that's the biggest obvious one to me is the phones and the challenges that come with that, from social media and the pressures it puts on kids to conform to a certain image or to be a certain way, or to it's rewiring their brains to what they think is entertainment and what they think is funny, or valuable. And so that's hard. I think that another big one is I think the normalization of everything. And my mom used to always say normal is just a dryer setting. But what I mean when I say the normalization of everything is it seems more and more like everything's becoming okay or acceptable, even in Christian circles.
Mm-hmm.
And as a parent, that's daunting to think, okay, like how am I going to raise my daughters to be above reproach and to stand out and to be salt and light and to be the city on a hill? Like, how am I raising them to do that? And I think as parents, that's the challenge is what are we doing? How are we working to say, we're not just going to conform to the image of society, but we're going to conform to the image of Christ. And I think the voice of truth is getting more and more distant in a lot of families' lives. And so how do we combat it? What is the school doing? How are we helping? I think the answers are we want to partner. We say that and we mean it. I want to talk to parents. I want to talk to moms and dads as things are going on with their children. And I know that's how Dr. Hicks and Ms. Pipes feels and Mr. Hall feels. And we don't want to do this alone. We want to partner. We want to, Scripture is the key. And I think if we can, my 5-year-old doesn't love it, but every day on the way to school, we listen to daily audio Bible, and I want her to be covered in truth every day. And as soon as that ends, it's like, okay, we're going to listen to a different worship song each day of the week on the way in. And so there's kind of an anthem as we roll into school because we can't do it alone. And she's 5. So I know it's not going to get easier as she grows up. And I think that's the answer for other things at Faith. I mean, there's support structures in place with our new counselor that's come in. I'm excited for Ms. Kirchhoff to be able to be available and help partner and serve families that are in crisis or that do have special needs that are unique situations they're dealing with or navigating with their child. But
sure,
yeah, I think just realizing the whole package is what's here at Faith. It's not a magic bullet that's going to solve the problems, but the community as a whole, partnering with other parents, doing fun things, dads getting together with their sons, moms going on princess adventures with their daughters, however old they are, whatever it is, realizing it's not one thing, but it's going to be a lot of little things. It's going to church. It's plugging in. I mean, the church is the bride of Christ that I think sometimes we've forgotten about as believers. And parents, make your kids go still in high school. I know you want to not force the issue. Please force the issue. I think that it solves things.
I agree.
And we need to do a better job of valuing the bride of Christ the way that God wants us to in the church. So there's a lot of different directions I could go with that.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of what I would say of, what we're trying to do. Faith also internally, I mean, within Bible classes and the teachers they have, I mean, you spend a second with Andy Wright and he knows you. He knows your son, your daughter, and also with Ms. Black, our new teachers, and that's come in. There are so many people here that want to invest in your child. It's about leaning in and asking your son or daughter, like, who is it that you connect with on campus? And moms and dads, like, email that teacher. Let them know that's what your child said, because it gives that teacher the boost to say, oh, I'm that person in that kid's life. I need to reach out. I need to be more intentional. And that's what they want to be. That's why they're here. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Grapevine Faith remains committed to the calling, and it's not a goal. It's a mission, as Dr. Lambro mentioned earlier, of developing and graduating authentic Christian leaders. And they do that through an amazing faculty and staff like Dr. Matt Lambro. So if you or someone you know would like more information about Grapevine Faith Christian School or would like to schedule a visit, go to grapevinefaith.com and you can find more information there. So, Dr. Lambro, we're so thankful to have you here at Grapevine Faith, and we're thankful for your leadership and your dedication to the students of Grapevine Faith. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah. Well, I've loved getting to be a part of it. Thanks for having me today.
Well, that's Associate High School Principal Dr. Matt Lambro. The second half of your Grapevine Faith Lions on the road at Grace Community in Tyler is coming up next here on the Grapevine Faith Sports Network. We are back here at Clyde-Perkins Stadium, campus of Grace Community School here in Tyler, for the second half of your Grapevine Faith Lions and the Grace Community Cougars. I was wrong, Jack. I guess at halftime of homecoming, I've always seen the homecoming court, and they didn't do any of that. They only had the, great performances by the both drill teams and cheerleaders, and then the drum line for Grace Community did a great job, but they didn't have a homecoming court or queen or all that stuff. I don't know. Maybe they did it at school or something. I don't know. But
I was in line getting Frito pie, Steve, so I can't tell you what was going on.
You were.
Yeah.
You were.
I'm only allowed to have Frito pie when I'm on the road when April's not here because she doesn't let me have it. And right now I'm going to rank this number 2 right behind the Caddo Mills Frito pie, which was a couple years back, but it's really good Frito pie from Caddo Mills. Caddo Mills Frito pie if you're in the area.
Josh O'Roy to kick off for the Lions here to start the second half. Again, we're tied at 28. And here we go. Big kick by Josh O'Roy through the end zone. That's going to be a touchback.
That's weird, Steve. Well, we kicked it off and into the end zone. And
how about that? You like that?
I did. I did like that. That was a very well thought out play.
All right, so the Cougars will take over first and 10 for their own 25. The Lions trying to find an answer defensively for that running game. They've kept the passing game pretty much in check. There's been a few completions, but, man, the running game is really what's torn up the Lions. Turner and
they are really good out of the backfield. 42 and 34
yep.
Are really good.
Turner and Harmon. There's a fake jet sweep, hand off to Turner. Wrapped up, but he carries a couple of guys forward. Gets about 7 yards on the carry out to the 31-yard line. Call it a gain of 6.
I mean, he gets ahead of steam, and even when he gets struck, he still gets 3 or 4 more yards off of that.
Tristan Dare on the stop, big freshman. Cougars now adjusting the play from the line of scrimmage. Coach Russell giving some instruction to their offense. 2 receivers split on each side. There's a play-action pass, complete, enough for the first down, out over the 45-yard line, and that'll move the chains for the Cougars. Do want to point out, recognize that we had an upside down, Stories of Faith. I have no idea what is going on. I'm going to have to do a tutorial with our software, but my apologies to Dr. Lambro. We will post that on the Grapevine Faith YouTube channel right side up. So apologies to Dr. Lambro, but still, if you're on your phone, you can just turn it upside down. So that's one of the nice benefits of watching on your phone. Again, opening drive here, just under 11 minutes here, starting the second half, tied at 28. Another inside handoff to Turner, tries to find some running room. Stopped up, still on his feet, and they're driving forward. Kind of a rugby scrum at that point. They give him 3 yards on the play. Forward progress stopped at the 49-yard line, the Cougars' own 49-yard line.
I'm telling you, that kid just doesn't stop moving his feet.
Yep. He is a little fire plug, man. He is short and powerful legs, but, man, he can drive.
I think
run
they
the
call
football.
it vertically challenged.
Vertically challenged, there we go. Roll out to the right by Zach Davis. Pass across the middle. Oh, in and out of the hands of Connor McCoy. So that's going to bring up a key third down play here in this opening drive of the second half.
We talked about it earlier, Steve, about being short on third down. We want them to be long. You got a 3rd and 7, really kind of a long 6. Let's see what our defense does here.
Yeah, defense needs a big stop. Be nice to see a turnover here. Play action, rolls out to his left, pass back across the middle field. That time Connor McCoy does complete it. And so that is going to be enough for a first down. Finds a hole in the defense. Haven't really seen Davis air it out per se. Most of his completions have been over in the flat or right across the middle. And he found a hole there with McCoy. So that brings up a first down for the Cougars.
I like that play, too. They had the rollout of it looked like a tackle coming across the side for helping with the block on the bootleg there.
A little empty backfield here for Wilson. He's going to keep it and not get much on the play. Tristan Dare on the stop. A gain of a couple.
2 yards on the game. Second down.
Ball at the 38-yard line of the Lions. Yeah, they had Turner in the backfield. He was that running back that started the game for the Cougars. There's a rollout by Zach Davis. He's chased by Abercrombie, throws the ball away, and somehow completes a pass. I have no idea how, to McCoy. I think he would look to me, Jack, like he was trying to throw that ball away.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, he was using the ref as a pick over there, but he still got a 1-yard gain out of that pass.
Wow.
That pass was like 80 yards, and the catch was only for 1 plus 1.
Right. He threw it almost the width of the field, it looked like. Good effective play there by the quarterback, Zach Davis, apologies. So, big third down play here for the Lions defense. Score tied at 28. 8:38 left here in the third quarter, just underway. Davis looking to pass, rolls over to his right, chased by Van Shoemaker. He's got some running room. Here's Nathan Trigestad in pursuit, and he's going to force him out of bounds. Shy of the 30-yard line, about the 32, so he gains a few on the play. It's going to bring up a long 4 yards here on fourth down.
It almost looked like he got past the line of scrimmage and still was indecisive whether or not he was going to throw the ball or not.
Yeah. Good pursuit there by Trigestad to force him out of bounds. So, opportunity here for the Lions defense to get the ball over on downs back to their offense. 3 receivers here on the near side. There's an inside handoff to Turner. He's hit immediately by the Lions. He is not going to get there. A huge stop by the Lions defense.
Well, they made the hit initially, and then there was a bunch of people coming to help out, Steve. That was a great fourth down stop. That's maybe what the defense needed for the second half, get that little spirit going.
No doubt. Ryan Perdue in there, Jake Ford, several other lines in there on the stop, Nathan Trigestad, a couple others. So big, huge defensive stand there for the Lions. So offense back on the field. Tristan Darren at that tight end position. I want to clarify something we were talking about earlier, Jack, that when we had Walker Little in there, we were not being critical of Walker at all. We were saying that we like this formation where they've got a tight end set and an empty backfield with Clayton Sebecki. That was our point.
Yeah, and I think even with the running back in the backfield, it's telling the defense that you're going to run the ball. Probably going to run the ball.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to use Walker Little as your lead blocker going through the middle with Clayton Sebecki. But if you take that running back out of it kind of changes the mindset of the defense. You've got a tight end in there, maybe throw it to the tight end, or you're going to have a single runner with Sebecki back there.
Yeah, I think our comments were that it really kind of gives away a running play there in many ways if you've got Walker lined up as a running back as opposed to a tight end kind of where Tristan is. That was really our only point there, obviously. So, that's going to be a false start.
Maybe on the center. That's the one they usually call that one on.
Yeah, the ball was not snapped. The rest of about 3/4 of the line went in motion, and the ball wasn't snapped. So that's going to back the Lions up 5 yards. And after that the previous play was a wide receiver screen over to Ben Wagner, and he caught it on his knees and was down immediately. And it was a loss of about 3 or 4 on the play. So now you've got a long second down, and ball spotted at the 22-yard line. So second down and 19. Trying to get the clock to start, and they finally get it going. Pass here on the near side to Noah Smith. He's hit immediately after he catches it. They called incomplete. Pass. Ball hit the ground.
Boy, he got hit hard.
Yeah, he got popped hard there by number 24, Aiden Heck. Well, Noah tried to do his job there, just a little button hook route, and got popped immediately. So now a key third down play for the Lions.
You don't want to be 3rd and 22 or 3rd and 18 in here, Steve.
You know what I'd love to see here? I don't see Ben, I guess, is on the far. No, I don't see Ben. Is Ben even in there? Yeah, he's in there. Clayton looking to pass, chased out of the pocket, throws across the middle. Intended for Wagner. I was going to say I'd love to see Ben on a post route, and he came across the middle of the field, but Clayton was chased out of the pocket and had to throw kind of off of his front foot. It was kind of an awkward stance that he threw there. And Clayton got popped there after he got rid of the ball.
He had him open, just couldn't really get it online.
So that stops the clock with 7 minutes, 24 seconds left here. Big defensive stand there by the Cougars. That's going to force the Lions into a punting situation. Ben Wagner back to punt. Still tied at 28. Appreciate you joining us here on the Grapevine Faith Sports Network. End-over-end kick by Wagner, fielded at the 41 by Turner. Breaks a couple tackles. Still on his feet, still driving. Inside the 30-yard line. So the Cougars are going to have great field position after a really good return of about 33 yards there by Turner.
Man, I mean, that kid gets hit and then runs another 5-10 yards with 3 or 4 people on top of him.
Grant Turner, number 34, you've seen a lot of him tonight, and Blake Harmon, number 42. Both of them very powerful running backs, very effective tonight in the ground game for the Cougars.
I'm just watching the replay, Steve. 5 yards gained after contact.
Yeah. And that can be frustrating for a defense when you hit him and you feel like, okay, we've got him down, and then you don't.
I feel bad, too. The defense with a nice stand on that first drive, and now they're back out on the field after just about a minute.
Yep. We'd like to see the offense with some sustained drives and eat up some of the clock and move the ball down the field. Obviously score, but at least try to move the ball down the field. But the Cougars now, with after the defensive stand and that punt return, now have good field position. There's a handoff to Turner. Good penetration there by Hayden Jobe. Still on his feet. And you mentioned it too, Jack. Again, he gets hit and he's still driving forward. Hayden Jobe had him by the shoelaces there for just a couple seconds, but he pulled out of that and gained another 8 yards.
Man, I mean, he got hit at the line of scrimmage and carried 2 guys 7 yards.
Christian Corley on the stop there. 2nd down and 4. It's a man in motion. Jet sweep.
Yeah,
and number 3 takes it around the far right side, cuts it back inside, and stays in bounds. That's going to be enough for a first down.
Yeah, you knew that play was coming sometime soon because that's what they were showing earlier with the fake.
Well, you know who's watching. I mentioned Christian Corley. We got to give a shout out to Gigi Corley, Christian's grandmother in Clovis, New Mexico. Great to hear from you, Gigi. Very faithful listener. And Jack, this is us not giving a shout out to Bethany Powers.
Yeah.
Remember, she does not like to have shout outs, so this is us not doing that right now. It's another man in motion. Inside handoff again to Turner. Breaks free, runs over. Good grief. Lowered his shoulder. He's going to go in for the touchdown. He lowered his shoulder. No flags on the play. He lowered his shoulder and laid a hit. I didn't see who that was on. But, man, that is, I think from a running back standpoint, Jack, that's one of the most powerful backs we've seen this season, I think. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know who that was. I can't see very well.
All right, so the Cougars take a 34-28 lead, now trying to go up by 7 if they can convert here on the extra point. Nope. Corbin Irwin gets in and blocks it. Got a hand on it. Good job, Corbin Irwin, and he blocks the extra point. So we'll see if that comes into play in the rest of the game here.
Couple shout-outs. Mr. Lambro obviously was listening. April Wharton heard about the Frito pie. It was not that good, April. I'm sorry I did that. Mr. Henderson is listening, and Michael Hanna listening as well. Thanks a lot for watching. Listening and watching. Listening and watching. And McLean Martin.
All right.
McLean Martin was complaining that the camera was off. That was Mark Edwards' job. I believe he went to go get some Frito pie himself.
We when the camera was off, that may have been we actually Mark is now upstairs on a perch. So he's on top of the press box now. He was over to our side, and he's like, "Hey man, let's give him a bird's eye view and give the fans what they deserve." So Mark's on top of the press box now here on the visitor side, and we'll have to text him. Hopefully he has his microphone on.
Real quick on that one too. Score at 34-28, missed extra point by Grace. And the defense, was put in a tight spot there with only 29 yards left. Is that I think that's a Colton Edwards sighting I see out there on the field. I'm excited to see him this year.
That would be, let's see, he on the 48 on the varsity. Let's see him. Where is he? Where are you at?
Oh, yeah, he's on the 35-yard line. Big Colton
Let's
Edwards
go.
fan. Big Colton Edwards
Come
fan.
on, kid. All right, Cougars kicking off here. 6 minutes exactly left here in the third quarter. An offensive back and forth tonight. There's an onside kick.
Oh, nice.
Recovered there by
66.
Trevor Williams.
Oh, Trevor Williams. It's weird, Steve. An onside kick that wasn't successful. Very odd.
Wow.
It's just stupid.
I can say it when they do it. Obviously, it doesn't make a lot of sense when you had the momentum.
I think they were trying to keep the momentum, I guess, and just try to surprise us. But Trevor Williams is right there.
I will say, if you recover that and then come back and score it, that changes the complex of the game for sure. Empty backfield for Clayton Sebecki. 6 minutes exactly left here in the third quarter. Lions trailing 34-28. Sebecki pass out to the side to Ben Wagner, and again. He makes the catch, but falls on a knee, and he's down immediately. So it's a loss of 2 on the play. This happened the last series. And, Jack, you got to wonder if they're trying to set up some sort of, they'll fake that throw, draw the offense up, the defense up, and then Ben scoots past him into the open field. 2nd down and 12. Ball to 46. Clayton Sebecki cuts it back inside. He's hit immediately. And good penetration there and coverage by the defense. Bethany Powers is at the Grapevine Mustangs game, watching her nephew playing the former.
Dr. Smith's listening tonight. Well, he's worried about Mark's health up there.
Yes, Dr. Smith. We have him with the safety harness upstairs, so we are OSHA compliant.
Yep.
Yes. Pass by Sebecki. Almost brought in, intended for Ben Wagner.
It's almost like Ben didn't know that was coming his way.
Yeah, he looked a little surprised that the ball was coming in his general direction, didn't he? Well, 4th and 11. The Lions at their own 48-yard line. The offense stays on the field. And I don't know, Jack. They're going to go for it here on 4th down and 11 at their own 48. You leave them a short field if they get it. Snap back to Sebecki. Pass across the middle. In and out of the hands of Noah Smith.
Noah.
Hit him in the hands.
Oh.
And Noah is kicking himself for that. So, well, they had what they wanted, but the Cougars going to take over with great field position. So you're asking a lot of your defense here, Jack.
Maybe the onside kick did work, Steve.
Yeah, right? Genius play by the Cougars. Your defense came up big on a stop earlier, so they're going to be asked to do it again. Four minutes, 43 seconds left here in the third quarter. Lions trailing 34-28. Two receivers on the near side. Turner in the backfield with quarterback. They hand it off to Turner. Drives forward for about 7 yards. Good grief.
Goodness gracious, that guy runs.
Yeah. Yeah, Zach Davis is pretty much just handing the ball off and getting out of the way, and Turner's doing all of the work. We'll try to give you some, didn't have a chance to do this at halftime, try to give you some scores from around taps if we can here momentarily.
I don't really want to give any more scores, Steve, the way you're having to approach me from behind like this.
There's Davis on the keeper.
Oh, I want to say this
hit
one.
Hard.
Regions 55, and it was like some school with called the Bloodhounds.
Jack's all about those. He's all about those mascots. Brook Hill up 13-0 over Grace Prep at halftime. Bishop Dunn 22-14 over Coram Deo at halftime.
Ooh,
here's a
tighter
big
than I would have thought.
First down play here for play action.
That's a hold right
Pass
there.
Pass across the middle.
That guy is looking right at him.
Yep, no call there. Big play hit by Connor McCoy on the reception. Big hit, but he was onto the ball. He's going to limp off. He's going to take a play off, but that's a first down for the Cougars.
Well, the defense really got to, strengthen up here and really make a stop here.
All Saints and Midland Christian tied at 7 in the fourth quarter. Timeout on the play. The Grace Community takes their first of the second half.
I can read a couple here for you, Steve. Ooh, Sunray demolishing Lubbock Christian 34-0.
That's in the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter. McKinney Christian 42. Dallas Homeschool Athletic Association 6. That's in the third quarter.
I forget who Liberty had tonight.
Oh, Liberty won 52-0 over Legacy Christian.
Oh, shocker.
That's a final.
Yeah.
And Jason Winton had a nice pregame talk with the broadcast team from there.
He's big on those pregame interviews.
Yeah. Not much of other interest in around here, Steve. DeSoto 57. Mansfield Legacy 3.
My alma mater.
DeSoto Eagles.
Yes, they are DeSoto Eagles. 1st and 10 for the Cougars. Pass out to the flat, complete inside the 20. Taken down just shy of the 15-yard line. So they're going to actually, they're going to call that a first down. So he is at the tackle to 16, but that's enough for a first down. Clock running, 3 minutes, 10 seconds left here in the third quarter. Cougars leading 34-28 and threatening to score again. And the defense has just not had an answer tonight for this running and passing game of the Cougars. They've done a nice job of mixing it up. And some man in motion here. Another handoff to Turner on the inside. He breaks free and walks into the end zone for a touchdown.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, this is probably the most rushing yards somebody's put up against us this year, I would think. Steve, what do you think?
Man, I don't know. I don't see if Grace is going to go for 2 here. Nope, they're going to just go for the 1. They're up 40-28, up 12, so you're going to be up 13 if this is successful. Yeah, I will say I'm not sure why they've done anything. We talked earlier, that kick is up and good. I'm not sure why they have done some of the plays that they've done and not just feed the ball to a Turner. That kid has been an absolute machine tonight. And even what you talked about it, even when he's hit, he either breaks free like he did there. He broke 2 or 3 tackles, got in the end zone. Or he gets another 5 yards after being hit.
There was another Tech game I went to. Bob Simmons was coaching Oklahoma State. It was at Lubbock. They were just absolutely throttling Tech at the quarterback position. I can't even remember who it was. And Simmons inexplicably went back and at halftime and decided to change quarterbacks, and Tech absolutely destroyed him in the second half. It was like, why change the game plan? Just keep handing it to 34 and 42 and let them run with it for a bit.
Yeah. Well, one big piece missing from the Lions on both sides of the ball is the senior Michael Alford.
We are missing Alford.
I mean, he's been playing some running back, but on the defensive side of things, he's also a big weapon.
Yeah, and I think Walker Little can be that running back that we talked about with him too. But Alford surprisingly gave us something different than we had in the past. He had a little bit of run game to him that you really didn't expect it. We were just kind of hoping to get a couple good blocks out of him, but he really changed the dynamic at that position early on in the season. Grapevine is up 42-0 on Fort Worth Polytechnic.
Former coach C.J. Wilson from Grapevine Faith now coaching at Fort Worth Poly. There is another onside kick.
Now
and
that's be successful. Oh no, we got it. Unsuccessful. Now that didn't. That needed to be.
I don't. That ball took a huge kick.
Nope.
Grace Community is signaling they have it,
which usually means they don't have it.
There's a scrum down there.
I could be wrong, Steve. Now that I'm second guessing myself.
Everybody's pointing in the opposite direction.
No, I think it's going.
I think it's going Faith's way. Yep. Let's see. Well, hold on. Okay, it's great. It's Faith's ball.
Wow, that's weird. Another unsuccessful onside kick. Weird.
Well, that was close, though. That took the perfect bounce.
Close doesn't count. It's still unsuccessful, Steve. Come on now. It did take it looked like we misplayed that a little bit too far in. Scott Kidwell, listening from Midland, Texas, gave us the score from last night. Midland High 45, San Angelo 27, a battle of the Little Southwest Conference. Midland 6-0 on the season. Pups up.
Well, the Lions need to respond here. 2 minutes, 44 seconds left in the third quarter. Down 41-28 from their own 36-yard line. Empty backfield for Sebecki. Keeps it up the middle. Tries to pull free. Gains about 2 on the play.
I like to see him get bounced outside a little bit. I think the speed is going to be too much for this Grace community. And I'm looking more. That defensive line for Grace community is a couple big boys in there, 66, 70, and 51. Woo! They've eaten some Frito pies in their lifetime.
Yeah, there's some good-sized guys on that defensive line. Sebecki back to pass. Looking deep. He's got Ben Wagner. Falls incomplete. Again, a little bit underthrown. And Ben, those are balls that we've seen, Jack, in previous games where Ben comes back for that ball.
Yeah.
And that one just kind of hit him in the breadbasket and bounced down incomplete.
Yeah, I think Ben's been under the weather this week. We've had a couple players out sick this week. And I think that could be something to do with it. Clay's just a touch under. I mean, he's under pressure a lot when these throws, so I wonder if he's just having a tough time getting that ball far enough out there under pressure.
Clayton committed to Air Force already here in his senior year. Looking to pass. Has Nathan Triggerstead open, but falls incomplete.
There it is again. That deep ball is available, but because there's no safety back there for help, Steve.
Just out of the reach of Triggerstead. So 4th down and 8, and the offense stays on the field. So, again, if you don't convert here, Jack, you're asking a whole lot of your defense again. Nope, they are going to punt. So, Clayton was lined up as the quarterback, but the Ben steps back there. Blake Turner back. Oh, that's a low snap. Gets away from Ben. Trying to get out of the reach, and he is tackled, taken down at the 24-yard line. There's a flag on the play.
Down.
Now, they're probably going to call that on Ben, but the Cougars got in his face, so we'll see what they call here. That is bad news for the Lions. So, bad snap. Gets away from Ben, the punter. He's trying to plead his case. He said, guy got in my face. I was pushing him out of the way. That's exactly what he's saying to Coach Holland.
On the receiving team, number 9.
Yep.
We're also going to have personal foul on the keeping team.
Okay.
Number 5. Penalties were all set. First down.
All right, so they called a personal foul against Wagner and against number 9. Usually, Jack, it's that instigator that they hit, because if he doesn't do anything, you have no penalties on the play at all. But they offset, so the Cougars take over 1st and 10 from the Lions' 26-yard line. 2 minutes left here in the third quarter. Cougars leading 41-28.
I don't think this third quarter could have got any worse, Steve.
Well, man, let's hope it doesn't. Turner in the backfield with Davis.
I bet it's Turner. Oh,
here's Davis rolling to his left. Has a man open. Comes back for the ball. Caught at the 2-yard line. And he's in for the touchdown. That's number 24, Aiden Hecht. And the Cougars take a 47-28 lead. Well, you've asked a lot of your defense tonight, Jack, when you don't sustain drives as an offense. Let's see what they choose to do here. They got about 25 men on the field. I think they're going to it looks like they're going to go for 2, it looks like. Yep, they're going to go for 2. Lining up with Turner in the backfield. Wilson rolls to his right. looking for a receiver in the end zone, falls incomplete. So that 2-point conversion is no good. So 19-point lead here, 47-28. The Cougars on top of the Lions. 1 minute, 52 seconds left. I was saying, Jack, you're asking a lot of your defense when you give them. You've had turnover in the first half, and then when you don't convert on fourth down and give them the ball, and then you have the bad snap on the punt. I mean, a lot of mistakes that just give a short field to the Cougars, who already have shown efficiency in moving the football down the field.
Yeah, quick summary of that drive. That took all of that took 12 seconds and 26 yards in one play. So, this is the third quarter. I don't think it could have gotten any worse than what they wanted. I mean, they're down 21. I'm sorry.
Yep. Well, you need your money back from that TB farm, that TB camp or whatever you went to.
Yeah, that iron lung needs to open back up a bit. Yeah, I mean, you're down 19 here, and you really just got to get back on the board. Really probably got to put some points on the board here on this drive. Mark is signaling something. Maybe he's got something.
Mark, you got something for us? Okay. Oh, he just threw something at me for no reason.
Yeah.
I was at practice Wednesday afternoon, and Ben Wagner was in shorts and was on the sideline. Was at practice, but was not suited up or participating. And I said, "Hey man, you didn't look injured?" And I said, "Man, what's up?" He said, "I've been sick," and he did not look well. And I will say he does not look 100%. There's another onside kick for the Cougars.
0 for 3 tonight.
I guess a 19-point lead is.
You're playing with
enough,
house money. I mean, you're playing with house money a little bit with a 19-point lead and going into the fourth quarter here.
Well, look, you've shown that your defense can hold the Lions and force them to make mistakes. So I guess why not? But I was saying that there is no question, even from up here in the press box, we can tell that Ben Wagner is not 100%. You can just see it. Seen it all night. So. Got Wagner open.
Oh, my
nice play there. Nice play by Hecht, who just had that receiving touchdown. Nice play by.
Again, but, we've been talking about this so far, that safety is not back there to help. I wish I had watched more film of their defense coming into this game. They showed no safety back there. I would say 75% of the time there's no safety back there.
But I do like that play, though.
One right there is great.
You have Tristan Dare in the backfield as you're kind of an up back. And you kind of fake a run by Sebeki, who looks like he's going to run it around the edge.
Yeah.
Here's a swinging gate formation here. There's a run by Sebeki. They get all of 2 yards on that play.
I really don't mind that play either, too, because it kind of gives that gap to Clayton that he hasn't been able to get in the middle if it's a traditional formation.
Well, if you get 8-10 yards on that, I get it. But you're getting 2 yards on that play. So, again, I think at this point, similar like they did against Liberty, they're just looking for anything. So here's that swinging gate formation again. Dathan Triggerstead to snap the ball back. Snap back to Sebeki. Almost caught by one hand to Ben Wagner. I was watching the defender back here that was going after Sebeki. The ref. There is a penalty flag down thrown by the umpire. We'll see what we got. Using the area of holding. Or maybe an ineligible man downfield and see what we got.
Like he was working towards his cap, so that would mean illegal man downfield.
The referee has a mic on tonight on the PA, so you can hear him.
That's great.
Ineligible man by the Lions and offsides against the Cougars, so that's going to offset. They're going to replay third down here. Lions go back to their traditional formation here. 2 receivers split to each side. Empty backfield for Sebeki. 3rd down and 8. 1 minute, 13 seconds left here in the third quarter. Lions trailing 47-28. Need to find an answer here and then come up with a big defensive stand to start the fourth quarter. Sebeki looking to pass. Chased out of the pocket. He's hit.
Chased out of the pocket. He never even got into the pocket.
Well, he started to run out of the pocket and got hit immediately. Faulkner, number 51.
number 17, Casey Stover, and number 51, Grant Bachman.
And the Lions are going to be, it's fourth down, so we'll see if they elect a punt or they keep the offense on the field. It is fourth down and 13. They've got to get to the Cougars' 41-yard line. 40 seconds left with the clock running here in the third quarter. You're down 19, Jack. I guess you don't have much of an option.
No.
If you're going to go for it when you're down, 7 or the Lions are going to call a timeout.
Had to.
Coach, the play clock was running down or what happened there, but Coach Ware was running down to signal a timeout. Yeah, Jack, it's a pretty simple equation. The Lions just have not had an answer for Blake Turner, number 34. And again, you talk about Harmon, don't take anything away from don't take anything away from Zach Davis, quarterback, but it is the Blake Turner show tonight for the Grace Community Cougars.
Had a real good game. I mean, he is a running force. I mean, we've talked about it several times. He gets hit, and he still carries somebody for about 5 yards. So after he gets hit, a couple of scores, Steve, going back to some of your stuff. It was Regents down in Austin, 50. St. Joseph Academy Bloodhounds, 22. That's a final. Brookhill, 27. Grace Prep, nothing. That's in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
Legacy Christian and Covenant Christian, no score so far.
Here's a big fourth down play now for the Lions. Sebecki looking to pass. Chased out of the pocket, rolls to his right.
That's got to be a face mask.
And he grabbed him by the back of the helmet. Sebecki's really frustrated. That's going to be well short of the 4. Doesn't even get to the 49-yard line. So Sebecki is as frustrated as I've ever seen. And the Cougars will take over on downs at the Lions' 48-yard line. So once again, your defense has got to stand up big. They've been on the field a long time tonight. So see if they've got how much they have left in the tank.
That's a tough one. Hey, let's go defense. There's a fan still cheering on the squad.
$19 seconds left here in the third quarter, so there's plenty of time left. You're down 19, but we've seen the Lions score quickly. Had a kickoff return by Ben Wagner and a long run by Clayton Sebecki, so still in this. Hand off to Turner. Cuts it back up the middle, breaks a couple tackles, finally taken down. Christian Corley on the tackle, but not until Turner has another first down.
Yeah, you're going to go back to the film on Saturday and realize that this kid just ran all over your backside.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, and Jack, he doesn't even look tired.
No.
Like, he's got so much left in the tank, it's unbelievable.
I was kind of hoping that by the end of the game he might be a little wore out, but he has not stopped.
No. That's going to be the last play of the third quarter. So, Lions were, and you were in this here to start. I mean, again, you had a tie game at halftime at 28-all, and the Cougars have just rattled off 19 unanswered points. So, and again, we talk about the fact the offense has not really sustained drives. The defense has been on the field a long time, and they are understandably pretty gassed right now.
You know, this kind of is the reverse of the Woodlands Christian game when we just really throttled them in the third quarter and kind of took over that game. And they're just kind of Grace Community has really just whipped our backsides in this third quarter.
Yep.
I mean, again, you're not really out of it. You got to get a quick defensive stop here, I would think, in less than 2 minutes to go here. Get it under 2 minutes, get it down to 10, and then you really got to score pretty quickly thereafter. A couple more scores for you, Steve. All Saints 14, Midland Christian 7, fourth quarter. Mercy Culture Prep 12, Bishop Gorman 8. And that's in the third quarter. That's just right across town here, probably about half a mile from where we're sitting right now. Let's see what else. Francetti Catholic 55, Harmony School of Innovation 0. That's in the fourth quarter. TMI 45, St. Anthony 7, fourth quarter.
We're going to see if Mark Edwards has his mic on.
Well, that's one downfall to Mark going upstairs.
Yep.
We can't hear him. Oh, wait,
We'll get back to him in a second if we can. Another handoff to Blake Turner. Out well past the line of scrimmage and into the secondary. Finally taken down, but again, a 7-yard gain on first down.
this would be a good opportunity to maybe sub a couple players in and get a couple breaths out of these guys because, like you said, they are getting gassed out there.
Yep. Very, very defeated-looking sideline for the Lions. And your defense on the field trying to find an answer for Blake Turner. Play action. Davis rolls to his right, throws to the end zone.
Turn around.
He's got a man open. Caught, touchdown.
Wow. Great pass play. Great rollout. Kind of put it right on the numbers. There wasn't much room there to throw it into, and he really got it in the right spot.
Well, you got a mismatch in size there with the defender. Here's Harmon to they've got about 25 different kids that can come out here and kick extra points and field goals.
This is going to be missed, Steve. That's my guess. I'm going to guess it.
47-28 here, just underway here in the fourth quarter. Lions trying to ruin the
actually pretty good
homecoming of the Cougars, and it is not happening right now. So 54-28, 11-14 left here in the fourth quarter. Yeah, again, you're asking a lot of your defense and just some challenges there defensively on some coverage, and they just have not been able to answer. And again, it seems like when you line up and you fill the box to stop Turner, you've got Davis rolling out and throwing on the run. So, again, I said I didn't want to take anything away from him. Turner's had an amazing game, but Zach Davis has shown that he's fully capable of creating damage as well. We'll see if the Cougars choose to do a third onside kick in a row. Fourth.
No, third in a row, fourth of the game.
Fourth of the game. Yes, right. Correct.
I sound quiet. I don't want anybody to think that we're out of this. I mean, we're only down 26. They basically hung 26 on us in the third quarter. We can hang 26 on them in the fourth quarter.
Waiting to see what the yeah, I mean, here's a question though, Jack. You're up 26 points. If you onside kick this, is it just are you rubbing their face in it?
It could be that he can't kick it that far, but I don't know why. I don't know why he did the last two. That's what I'm confused by. There they go.
And they do it again.
Is that? But, it reminded me, too, Steve, that if you recall, I think it was 2 years ago, that whoever we were playing in our JV game, they consistently kicked an onside kick because we could not field it.
No, okay, that wasn't an onside kick. That was at Legacy Frisco, and they kicked it up in the wind, and we couldn't do a thing about it.
Yeah.
It would hit us in the hands and then fall out. So, yep. Yep, we're
we got a fan yelling.
We're getting some buy-in here. You're up 26 and onside kicking it. So Becky on the keeper, trying to get some room, and he's taken down.
I think my tuberculosis kicked in again. Sorry about that, fan. Sorry about that. Barry made me laugh, yeah, I don't know about the onside kick. I don't really think they're trying to rub their nose in it. I don't know if the kid can kick it that far. I don't know.
Okay, can we stop saying that? The guy kicks the extra point. He kicked it 30 yards past
that one, but also he probably does not want to kick it to Ben or Clayton for that matter as well. But I don't know.
I would say let's not say it's because he can't kick it that far. I mean, whether they're doing it or not, I don't know. All right, well, the Lions have got to figure out a way. It's Becky looking to pass. Caught by Ben Wagner. Out close to first down. Breaks a tackle. Spins away. Finally gets taken down inside the 40-yard line. So nice pass and catch there from Sebecki to Ben Wagner. Clock stops momentarily for 10 minutes, 24 seconds left. Grace takes a timeout.
Christy Wetland from Madison, Wisconsin is listening tonight.
Obviously not the turnout so far in these first three quarters that in 2 minutes or so that the Lions had anticipated. But again, hopefully they're going to keep driving.
The Barry Irwin yelling at me. Remind me of a broadcast I had for Texas Tech when I was doing women's basketball games from UTA. Guys just shouting cuss words at the referees right behind me, and I was like, my partner just said, Jack, what do you think about what's going on here? And I go, I really couldn't hear anything you asked me because this guy was just letting loose on some cuss words behind me.
Are you saying that somebody from Texas Tech was cussing out the refs? That is shocking.
It was a player's
That is
dad.
shocking.
Wait till you hear me tomorrow down in Waco, Steve.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Lions. Trying to find an answer here. Down 54-28. Looking deep for Ben Wagner. Double coverage. And pass falls incomplete. Chase Walker in the game for the freshman coming in for the Lions in the slot position. Yeah, knowing Ben's not feeling well, man, he's got to be pretty gassed, I would think, Jack. Not a whole lot of his lung capacity's got to be diminished. He's pretty tuckered out.
Yeah.
There's Sebecki on the keeper, and he is stacked up big time by that defensive front.
Again, some of the adjustments I would have made is going to the outside with Sebecki. Just haven't done that much tonight. A couple times we did, we were pretty successful.
Well, the Lions lose 2 yards on that play. Looks like Ed Smith's going to take care of Barry.
No, Barry wasn't causing a ruckus. He was having fun. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you got anybody.
False alarm. All right, Sebecki back to pass.
There he is.
He's hit after he throws the ball. The pass is complete to Ben Wagner. And
I think we've been successful in getting people to listen to us, Steve, and now they're actually listening to us when we say stuff. I don't mean it. I thought usually nobody's listening to us. So,
well, I'm going to say on that play, I did not watch the ball in flight. I was watching the defender, and he took an extra 2 steps and then plowed Clayton Sebecki literally right in front of the referee with no call.
I don't really know what the proper protocol is on that, but like I talked about at the beginning of the game, I really think Coach Holland should say something to these refs before we start. It's like, hey, I don't want you to change your refereeing tonight, but just keep an eye on and protect my player. Because I think that, obviously he's the best player out there. If not the best player, he is the best player or one of the 2 or 3 best players we have on our offensive side of the ball. He's always going to be a target for another team. So I just think that the late hits, this is definitely cleaner than the Fort Worth Christian game.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Liberty and Fort Worth Christian both I mean, again, you're gonna key on him.
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
But it's the targeting, the late hits, the piling on, all of that. Sebecki back to pass. Incomplete.
I really, if you could take a positive away from tonight's offensive game plan, I really like the way that Sebecki's worked through some progressions and getting to different receivers. I feel like the focus has been on, for the first 5 games, has been on Ben. Not that you shouldn't focus on Ben, but it kind of takes the defensive strategy away a little bit if you start focusing on the Noah Smiths, the Nathan Trigestads, and some of these other players out there. Love to see if we get Dare some offensive touches as well.
Second down, Sebecki.
Yep.
Caught by Noah Smith about the 12, takes it inside the 10.
Ooh.
He's stacked up there.
Awkward.
Yeah, kind of pushed back on his backside, but good completion there by Noah Smith. So that's going to move the ball inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal for the Lions at the 9. Sebecki with the empty backfield. Big penetration there.
Steve, tonight
Caleb Gossett.
We talked about some of the things coming into the season, and one of them was the defensive line, and we've seen some of the struggles tonight with that. I mean, they've played pretty good. I think the defensive line has played pretty good. I think the offensive line has held their own pretty good, but these are big boys for Grace community.
Yep. Well, the Lions put it on the Cougars last year pretty good, so Cougars trying to get some payback here. Lions trying to get a play in. 13 seconds left on the play clock. Empty backfield for Sebecki. Trips here on the near side. Sebecki rolls here to his left.
Oh, I like the
big
play
penetration.
Call.
There's a penalty flag down.
It's going to be a face mask.
Yep. Caught. And Touchdown, Nathan Trigestad. We'll see what the penalty is. I agree with that. I think it's going to be a face
mask, and I think you had defensive holding in the back in the defensive backfield as well.
Is there? Yeah, there's a penalty flag down about the 12-yard line. There's one back here at the
catch? Was that Noah Smith?
No, Trigestad.
Oh, Trigestad.
Yep.
Okay, I couldn't see the number.
Sebecki and one of the Cougars having a conversation. So that the touchdown's going to stand.
But you may be able to get closer to, unless he might try to take it on the kickoff because he could try the onside kick there. Now, I'm endorsing an onside kick at this point.
Whoa.
Well, you're down by...
you are okay with it if you're down.
Well,
okay.
you're going to be down by 19, and you got 7 minutes and 30 seconds left. When you're down, yes, kick the onside kick in the fourth quarter when there's, you're down. So, sorry, folks.
There's a flag down on the play.
Now what they call?
And a legal procedure penalty against the Lions, so they're going to back up 5 yards. Well, again, Clayton Sebecki is going to rest well tonight. Having somebody text in saying there's a lot of missed calls, and I agree.
I mean, we haven't had many penalties tonight, to be perfectly truthful. It's been a pretty clean game as far as flags go.
Sebecki on the extra point, and that is good. So 7 minutes, 30 seconds left here in the game.
Holroyd on the extra point.
What did I say?
You said Sebecki.
Sorry, Holroyd. Apologies.
Well, it's understandable. He's out there all the time.
Yeah.
But
So 54-35, 19-point differential with 7 minutes, 30 seconds left. Coach Holland bringing the kickoff team together. I'm going to come up with something. Again, you assume probably an onside. I'm seeing Clayton Sebecki go out there. He's putting some gloves on, so probably greater than zero chance that Clayton is going to be out there. Now, you've got a bunch of, I'm looking, you can name any number of running backs and receivers out there right now, Jack. And I would assume that the Cougars are probably doing something very similar. Going to have some their good hands crew out on that front line.
They're going to have the All-State team out there, Steve.
They will have the All-State team. Good hands. You're in good hands with All-State. I want to say hey to the Cates family, Steve and Stephanie. Hey. Great family from Grapevine Faith watching tonight.
We got just a minute anyways, but I want to thank everybody for listening to Steve and I. We really do enjoy it. And Mark Edwards tonight.
Yep.
Working on the camera for us. We really do appreciate it. Make sure you guys send in a donation. This isn't a free broadcast.
This is a free broadcast. Do not donate.
Okay.
This is
to the ASPC. Just throw $5 and just write our names on the check and say, hey, thanks for listening.
Jerry Lewis, tap the brakes there, big boy.
There is no tote bag for you tonight, but go ahead and send a check in for the All Sports Booster Club. Feel free to log on and take a look at that. But we really appreciate you guys listening, really do. And again, thanks to our broadcast partners, Kevin Abercrombie, Campese's Restaurants. I'm going to leave out Grit Productions, Kelly Massey and Grit Productions.
Kevin Abercrombie.
Norberto Gonzalez and NG Concrete. Really do appreciate those guys for their donations.
So after those two penalties on the touchdown, there was I think like you said, Jack, a holding call and then a personal foul call. So they enforced both of those penalties. And the I think the Cougars are questioning where the spot of the ball is.
I think they only enforce the personal foul.
Well, if that's the case, then that would take the ball to the 50.
No,
you're right. It would take it to their own 45. My bad. 50,
I think you can only enforce the personal foul. The holding was in play.
Okay. So it was the dead ball personal foul. Yeah. Okay. Or the face mask. It wasn't a dead ball face mask.
That's why I can ref a game, Steve. I know the rules.
Why don't you wax poetically about a game that you called at Texas Tech? It was just one time.
I did have a basketball game that I refed. No, just kidding. I did ref basketball games.
I did as well.
Yeah.
I fished some high school ball, and then I did some small college.
Mine was nothing that big. I just did the intramural league games. Yeah, but I always got the fraternity leagues because they knew I could handle the mouthing.
You were okay. Yeah. Figured because they knew you'd be on the take.
Oh, I wish I was back then. So,
well, the Cougars coaching staff is arguing vehemently.
Throw a flag. They're on the field.
Against the, I'm not sure against the spot or what. I'm not sure what I'm not sure why you're arguing. You normally kick from the 40, a 15-yard penalty on the touchdown. with it enforced on the kickoff, puts the ball at the 45-yard line of the Cougars where you're kicking from. So,
well, what was a quick first half has turned into a very long second half, Steve.
7 minutes, 30 seconds left here in the game. Lions trailing 54-35. Josh Holroyd now to kick what we anticipated an onside kick here from the Cougars' 45-yard line. We should be pretty good at these, Jack, because we've practiced this a few times, even in games, right? Okay. Ball's going to go straight out of bounds, so that'll be
smart play by the Grace community.
Yeah, you didn't quite get the kick and the bounce that you typically look for on an onside kick, where it's going to kick up real high over the heads of the that front line.
Yeah, kind of a knuckler coming out of there. Which is kind of ironic since Tim Wakefield passed away this week. So
yeah.
One of the great knuckleballers of all time.
Well, we had a couple of, Tim Wakefield. I mean, I'm a huge Red Sox fan. Yeah.
I am as well. When you're relying on Tim Wakefield to get you a win in the World Series, then you really know your pitching staff is really not that good.
Well, Wakefield came up huge for him in 2004.
Yep.
And then we also had to pass in Dick Butkus, the Chicago Bear great. All right. As we said, Lions down 54-35. 7 minutes, 30 seconds left here in the game. Turner in the backfield. There's a handoff to Turner. Takes it around the left side. Good penetration there by the Lions. They bring him down after a gain of 1. I would expect a pretty steady dose here of Turner with 7:17 with the clock running, Jack, just to keep the clock running.
Nice tackle by Colin Abercrombie there.
Lions have 2 timeouts left. The Cougars have 1. At least that's what's the scoreboard showing.
I don't remember the second one by the Cougars, but could be wrong, obviously.
Game clock's it just hit 7 minutes. 13 seconds left here on the play clock.
Really need a quick stop here.
Clayton Sebecki in at the cornerback position.
Ooh,
there's Turner. Brings it here to the near side this time, picking up a couple of blocks. Cuts back upfield. He's out close to a first down. Stopped just short of the 40-yard line.
This guy gave him the first down.
Wow. He was tackled a full yard short, and they spot that at the 40-yard line. I am lost on that one. Holy cow. Yeah,
really
he kind of hit it about the 38.5-yard line, Jack, and then kind of bounced forward a half yard to the 39.
I was thinking it was the 39, but
this guy's got someplace to be, I guess. Holy Toledo, that was a terrible spot if you're a Lions fan. Well, again, your defense has been on the field a whole lot tonight, Jack. 1st and 10 for the Cougars. Hand off to Turner. Find some room out around the left side.
You know, the only real positive, or there is some positives out of these games that we're seeing. We've got a lot of young roster out there, especially on the line. You got Van and you got Tristan out there, both freshmen. Still trying to, grow and learn their position. So, I mean, that's a little bit of positive. But, man, these guys just run all over these guys tonight.
Yep.
I don't know if they prepared for a running game or not. There they go. So they're all stacking the box. Colin looks like he's offside. I was going to say.
Yeah, he backed up finally, yep. Another handoff to Turner. Takes it around the left side, cuts it back to the middle of the field. Inside of line territory. More than enough for a first down. That'll move the chains.
And he's get that outside lane that we talked about for Clayton on our offensive side of the ball that gives him that extra 2 or 3 yards of speed, and then he gets another 3 or 4 yards after he's hit. Just kind of just run over the backside tonight.
Well, a lot to figure out for the Lions here coming up. They do have a non-district game, their last non-district game next Friday night against John Paul II at Grapevine Ford Field. But this was a key game for them because they recognize, you heard Clayton Sebecki say that Grace was probably going to be the team to beat in the there's Harmon up the middle. He plows forward for about 6. That Grace Community was going to be the team to beat in their district.
Yeah.
Bishop Dunn has struggled this year. Coram Deo struggling this year. And Legacy Frisco not having the best of years either, of season. So this really was probably your big matchup. And especially coming off 3 non-district losses to ESD, Liberty, and Fort Worth Christian, really want to try to make a statement, but not going to happen tonight, unfortunately. Right at 4 minutes here left in the game. Clock running. Line's down 54-35. Cougars have been very, very effective tonight. Handoff to Harmon up the middle. Breaks free. Still on his feet. Still trying to break tackles. Still stumbling forward. And that pile finally brings him down after a gain of about 35. So he takes it inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Boy, if it's not Harmon, it's Turner, Jack, and you just or Davis, the quarterback. I mean,
they've got all different kinds of running styles. It seems like 42 kind of gets through that line of scrimmage with nobody touching him, and then he just kind of runs a little bit and breaks a couple tackles, and then he has to have a big group of people take him down. We'll get a couple players coming back next week too, Steve. We get a couple more reinforcements coming back.
There's Harmon again right up the middle. Drives forward, gets down, gain of about 5 or 6 on the play. Two very different running styles. Turner is just a, pardon the rhyme here, he's just a burner. Man, he hits that hole and just drives. Harmon pretty much, he's kind of like a fullback, kind of a John Riggins type running back.
Yeah.
Just tucks the ball and just drives his leg forward. Both of them really strong legs and lower body, and now they're both okay. So Harmon goes over in tight end position. Turner in the backfield with Davis. 2:45 left here in the game. Handoff to Turner, takes it around the left side, trying to find some blocks, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown.
He got hit at the 7-yard line and then just kind of ran over that.
Bounced off him. Yeah, didn't even hardly even affect him. Well, you're up now 25, so I guess go ahead and prepare for the onside kick, Jack. Let's see if we...
Yeah, actually, Steve...
Or go for two here. Go for two here.
I've been thinking about it. I think the pooch kick is just probably not doable, and they don't want to kick it to Ben or Clayton. They may kick it away now.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
Why is the pooch kick not available? Not doable? What does that even mean?
He just can't do it, I guess.
Why are you giving them an excuse? We're having our first little tiff here, Jack.
I'm hoping for Christianity here, Steve.
Snap is up and good. The kick is up and good.
Oh, imagine that. Clayton Sobecki's almost in there to block the kick. He almost had that, too.
Well, you got a 26-point differential. The Cougars putting it on the Lions tonight, 61-35.
You know, in this game, when we do our job, it's more fun when we win.
Man, tell me about it.
It's a tough one tonight. I mean, I have a good time with you all the time, Steve, but
I do as well. And we had, I was telling my wife on the drive here, like, man, if we, hopefully have an easier game, easier Corbin Irwin.
Oh man,
limping over to the sideline for something.
He's one of my favorite defensive players out there.
No doubt. But that drive home tonight is going to feel a little longer than 2 hours after this loss. See Ben Wagner and Clayton going back deep. Yeah, I'll say this, Jack. I'm just going to get this out of my system because I'll feel better.
Oh, no. Here we go, folks.
If you onside kick this.
I don't think they are now because they don't have that guy in there. 42.
I'm telling you, I wouldn't put it past them for anything. I don't know that it matters. I think they've got, like I said, they've got 5 or 6 kids who've come in and have kicked. If you onside kick this, it's completely ridiculous. They do kick it. They kind of pooch it here to the side and goes out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. So they should take over at the
35?
35 or 40.
35.
Let's see what they do. All right, 2:35 left. Again, Lions down 61-35.
What time's our game next week, Steve? Maybe we can talk the fans into that game. Let's start talking about that.
5-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, ball spotted at the okay, so it's a 5-yard penalty from where it went out of bounds. I guess you get the better of. Empty backfield for Sebecki. 2 receivers on each side. Pass here to the near side to Wagner. He's taken out of bounds out over the 40-yard line.
Again, I'm not trying to make an excuse for this week's game, but, I mean, we got to get back to some fundamentals, get these kids healthy, get a couple players back next week.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll say, sorry to interrupt, Jack. I'll say your most effective series was your very first series of the game when you had a different look with trips and ran a couple different formations from what you normally do. There's a pump fake looking for Nathan Trigestad deep, and he's well covered there in double coverage.
You're right. Yeah, they mixed up the formations from what you would see on film. There was a couple formations that we hadn't seen before, which was the swinging gate on the offensive side.
Oh, we've seen that against Liberty.
I was not at the Liberty game, so I've not seen it.
Oh, that's right.
I have not seen that.
That's right.
So you saw it, but I do like the trip side. I don't, if I was to redo it, I would flip the sides every once in a while from left to right. And using a running back there, I don't know. I might bring in the tight end and have a little bit different look to it. And if you wanted to hand it off, just have that person be at that slot position.
There's going to be a face mask, a jet sweep. Face mask, and Ben Wagner's head got turned sideways. So that'll stop the clock. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left.
But I do agree with you. I think, maybe it changes week to week, but I really have thought that the getting Sobecki to the outside, giving that running lane on the outside is better than trying to run him up the middle. Now, again, he probably had 2 touchdowns today rushing when he was running up the middle. So I don't know. I don't know what works. I mean, that's the coach's job to go in there and figure out, hey, what's working, what's not working.
Yeah, those guys review film all day, every day. So I'm not second guessing or questioning that by any means.
I look at credit packages all day, Steve. I can't figure that out. So.
Sobecki trying to find room outside the pocket. Finally throws the ball out of bounds.
And you look at back stimulator packages for doctors. So
that's exactly what I do. Back stimulator packages for doctors. Oh, me.
Quick summary for a technical job that you have, Steve.
All right, clock stop on that incomplete pass. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left. Again, your Lions trailing 61-35. Just have not been able to stop that Cougars offense tonight. Sobecki on the keeper, takes it around the right side. It's finally pushed out of bounds.
I know it's the last of the game, but that's really what I was talking about. Get him to the corner and get him around the edge. Let him do what he needs to do. Give him a 5-yard gap before he has to start getting touched by people.
Yeah, your offense here is based on trying to get Ben Wagner and Clayton Sobecki the football in the open field. And the Cougars have done a very effective job tonight for the most part. Again, you had the kickoff return by Ben Wagner. Sobecki's had a nice long run from the line of scrimmage, but other than that, they've done a good job of containing the Lions.
And I do like the fact that we moved the ball around a little bit on the passing side of the game.
Keeper by Sobecki, 3rd down and 4 here. Needs to get to the 35. We do to get a generous, but hold on. Okay, so we had the generous spot, but he comes back a yard. So don't quite get the call like the Cougars got earlier, Jack, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Clock continues to run, minute 45. 4th down and 1 here for the Lions. Walker Little in the backfield now alongside Sobecki. He's going to keep it. Clayton gets to the well inside the 35-yard line, so that is going to be a first down. Stops the clock momentarily with a minute 30 left. Yeah, just not the outcome that you really expected and hoped for, obviously. You had a tie ball game at halftime. But, man, the Cougars have put up, 30, doing the math right, 33 points in the second half to the 1 touchdown by the Lions. So Cougars have won the second half easily. Pass here on the near side, intended for Wagner. Hit the defender right in the face mask. Not sure what he was diving for, but ball's incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, I wish we had more to say about this game, but a lot of gaps to fill in for the next time we see these Lions.
Yep. Sobecki back to pass. Chased out of the pocket. There's a penalty flag down. He's finally tackled around the 35-yard line, so no gain. Holding call against the Lions, so that's going to back them up 10 yards. Well, second down and a lifetime here for the Lions. 1 minute, 4 seconds left in the game. Cougars threatening some blitzes, and they back off. They do bring some pressure. Pass out, caught by Nathan Trigestead inside the 35-yard line. Still on his feet, trips down to the 30-yard line.
Nice catch.
Yeah,
nice catch.
Nice passing catch there from Sebecki to Trigestead. So
Trigestead contact and then made about 2 or 3 more yards after that. That's a pretty good run there.
3rd down and 5, ball at the 30-yard line. Clock running with 40 seconds left in the game. Sebecki looking to pass. Incomplete, intended for Noah Smith. So clock stop with 34 seconds left. 4th down. Specular looking to pass, looking for Ben Wagner. He's got him open by a yard or 2, but incomplete. So the Lions will turn over the ball on downs. Well, Cougars been able to celebrate a homecoming win tonight. And would anticipate a knee here, but who knows? We've seen onside kicks with them up by, there's a victory formation coming up. So,
yeah, you would think that we've been unsportsmanlike to all these teams over the years, and really haven't felt like we have been. But man, last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's going to do it. So that'll be the final play of the game. Well, Jack, not a whole lot to say about this one. That man, tough loss for the Lions, coming off of the 3 non-district losses. Was hoping to fare better here in Tyler, but it just didn't happen tonight. And credit to the Cougars, man. They clearly scouted the Lions and had answers defensively. And my gosh, offensively, holy cow! You got running backs to spare. And Zach Davis, the quarterback, did a great job as well.
Yeah. That running game of the Cougars is really tremendous tonight. I really think that kind of made the game for them. And then, defensively, we just didn't have an answer in the running game to get the ball downfield the way we wanted to.
Yep.
I do think it is interesting, and I don't have the stats on this, but I do think we've had more success going down on the outside than we have been down the middle offensively. But, it's something to look at the tape on. And every team's different than we're going to face this year. So,
yeah,
they probably saw something on tape that we could run the ball down the middle against Grace. But I think, over time, I think the speed of Clayton Sobecki, if you're trying to run him, is going to be on the outside, not on the inside. But, yeah, I mean, you got to mix it up, obviously. I'm not saying that's the only thing you got to do. But I think success, if you're going to run the ball, is trying to get it to the outside.
Well, I'll say this. After every single game, I've seen every coach and every player from the opposing team, and they're shaking everybody's hands. I'm not saying they're not shaking everybody's hands, but they make a point to track down Sebecki.
Yeah. And
there's so much respect for him.
Yeah, he gives it his all out there.
And he, rightfully deserves it. So, again, coming up short on this one. But final tonight there, Lions come up short here on the road. Next week, home game for the Lions, non-district game against John Paul II. Have our JV team on the road at John Paul II next Thursday.
I hate John Paul II. I was such a bigger fan of John Paul III.
The third? Yeah. He was a better guy, wasn't he? Well, for Mark Edwards, we appreciate his work on our camera tonight. For Jack Wharton, Steve Anthony saying so long. Thanks again for joining us here on the Grapevine Faith Sports Network. We'll see you next week. Thanks again.